Peace, everybody. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. Peace, peace, peace. Okay, that one 500. Somebody said 500. All right. Peace, family. We're going to have a little walk this morning, a little discussion. Let me see. I'm not even trying to do that with this, though, because I already have it. But, remember I was telling you about the other ancient book? This book right here. This book right here. I want everybody to see it as I'm demonstrating this. Russian Icons. That's the name of the book. It's one form of Russian Icons on Amazon. I think it's like for about $150, but it's not by Vladimir Ivanov. It's by another author. Here it is right here. I just was able to convert a lot of things, and I tell people I have all this. I have everything you need in my own library. And you see, they selling it for $500. Whoever this individual is, it's the hard copy. They selling it for $500, which is a good collectible, but it's not worth $500 to everyone. It may be worth $500 to you. It's not to me, because I got the book for free. They used. There's no new ones available. You know, some sell it for $300. Let me show you. This is at a thrift store. They didn't know what they had. Somebody probably turned it in, like how I be getting a lot of books, and somebody was there, probably looked it up and didn't know what somebody gave up. You see, they selling it for $300. You see, they selling that book for $300. I just wanted to show. Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov is an excellent summary, chronologically arranged of the history of Russian icons. Not only is it well illustrated, it gives a nice overview of the history of Russian icons. But who is the Russian icons? And then look, let me show you something. Let me show you. They got something on Amazon, I think. Yep. Now look at this. I found one. They got the paperback. By Leamy and Brown for $185, right? Paperback. The paperback for $185. Hard copy is almost $2,000. But this one is by Vladimir Ivanov, and this one is by Liam Brown. So is it the same people, or is it a different author, or what? Or is it a pen name? Is it a pseudonym? Could be. You know? Listen what somebody said. I agree that the book is ridiculously priced at this time, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to purchase it. It's in great condition and now a part of my amazing book collection. I believe books are going to be relics and artifacts at some point. Get it while you can. And I can show you a part of history where when people were being killed for books, you know, I'm telling you. Then some people try to keep you away from it, you know. Some say it's a very powerful book in regards to Jewish religious history. So very glad to have added to my book collection. Provides historical documentation of Jewish religious culture. I was told about this book, and I'm glad I now own it. Will provide much needed insight to my family in regards to religious history. over the centuries. They give it 5 stars. Pricing of the book is ridiculous, but I still got a copy. It's amazing how, this is what this person say, not me. Edomites upcharge this book. It's just amazing. They price it out of the range of American blacks to keep their secrets hidden. Just goes to show the truth of the, this is what he say, white man, red man, whatever that is. The Bible is the truth. Blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, read it. If you can afford it, get it. Our people need to see lies of the other nationalities outside of the Israelites. Expose the truth, you know? And then somebody say, seriously, over $700 for this book? Other people saying should have. This is a thoroughly enjoyable book, both for its text and illustrations. When so many books and calendars repeat the same illustrations, it's refreshing to find one with previously published unpublished pictures. The historical survey is conscious and comprehensive. At the same time, I cannot comment on the accuracy of the translation, but the English is lucid, peace, and reads well. You see this? This history. It complements the icons' devotion, their recently published book, which explores the culture of the icons by adding the theological insight necessary to a full appreciation of the subject. It is regrettable that it is out of print, but it's worth the search, and there is no risk in buying it unseen. It will grace the bookshelf of any person in the world. Then you got people that's trying to get you from it. They say not an accurate description. There are no pictures. People retarded. Pictures? Are you at pictures? This how they keep you away from things. I bought the book based on some of the 5 stars. Now I realize they were referring to hardback version. Very disappointing because you got the wrong one. So when you buy the paperback for $100-some, you don't have what I have. And that's what I tell people. I just broke it down for you. When you buy the one for $100-some, when you go on Amazon, you see the one for $100-some, it ain't the one with mine because it don't have the plates. The one that costs almost $2,000 is the one with the plates. A must-have for those that love history. See? You see what I'm saying? Not this one for $200. Not this one for $100-some. Not this one for $100-some without the pictures. Not the one without the pictures. Is this one. Is this one with the pictures. It's the copy I have. I told y'all I'm gonna be gone in a minute. Everybody that don't have this and all my muftis, you can't say I haven't gave people the opportunity to get it. I know people be playing with their life. I know people playing with their life. I know people playing with their life. I show people this forever. I've lectured this on a college campus a plethora of times. All my college students have it. They be gladly to buy the stuff from me. They be happy for me to print and buying this stuff from them. So when people be saying, and you be watching these YouTube videos and they say, oh, the first blacks, it ain't no such thing as first blacks. They don't want you to see, no, it ain't no such thing as no black. They're the Russian icons. They're the Russian icons. Just like David McRitchie told you, the ancient and modern Britons. How many times I'm going to tell you? How many times I going to tell you? I tell people. And then when people go, they try to be on the deep end, on the cheap end, when people be trying to go behind me, and they'll go buy the one for $180. This one, it ain't no pictures in there. And all my college students be laughing. They say, your people crazy. I said, they ain't my people. I say, y'all my people. The people that deal with me. They my people. I be showing people, illuminate things, and we still be looking stupid. I be telling us we be lost. It ain't nothing nobody have on the internet that I don't have. I have a full library. That's why I said anybody come to you that's talking different what I'm saying, they lying. And then these is facts. It's right here. Right here in your face. Here we go. We jump around for a minute today. That's why I tell people, I ask for pennies. I ain't one of these people like you see on the internet talk about, oh, his Cash App messed up. Okay, I still got an account. You know? Watch this. Russian icons. Russian icons. Not no ancient blacks. Ain't no such thing as ancient blacks. Russian icons. Russian icons. I told y'all before I was doing this, I used to go to the Greek festivals out here in Grand Canyon. Out here at these Catholic churches, because my professor, is a priest. And when I go to these Greek festivals, he used to take me in and take me behind the curtain. And I used to see all the pictures of the icons in gold. I got pictures with it. And then he'd take, then I went in the outside part where they put the pictures for the common folk, and the pictures are whitewashed, a little bit lightened, and the nose is a little bit straightener. It's a little arterist style. Like a lot of stuff has changed. But just like in Maccabees, when I show you the heathen, the Gentile tried to whitewash themselves in the history books. And then I show people history and scholarship. All this stuff is in universities. This is in the University of the Florida Library. When I go back, I'm from Tampa, Florida. When I go back to Florida, I'm gonna show you how a lot of the universities were Moorish. How can I say it? Living quarters. A lot of stuff was like Moorish living quarters. Where? Right here in Americas. This is digitized by the Internet Archives in 2011. You know, for the Sloan Foundation, members of the Sloan Foundation. What? Museum. Or this is another thing. Let me break this down the other day when I was breaking it down. When I said scholars lived in the museum, and then I started breaking down the language, I started showing y'all the surah, the hadith, or the haditha, all that different language come from ancient Jewish texts, and can't nobody be mad. And when I show you the House of Wisdom, where they talk about all they was doing is taking other texts and transferring it to Arabic, you can't get mad at your brother. You just got to be like, truth has no size. 1 Thessalonians 5:21. That's all you can say. You can't be mad at your brother. Russian icons, 14 plates in color, 12 full-page illustrations. Introduction by Philip Schweinfurth. So when a person, when people try to say, "Oh, I can get it cheaper. I can get it for $100 something," book. No, you're not. You get nothing but pages. You're not getting this. You're not getting this with all the plates. I don't hear that. You're not getting this. And this is what costs $2,000. This is what costs 2 bands on Amazon. You feel me? That's what this costs 2 bands on Amazon. This costs 2 bands on Amazon. 2 bands. So why my email blow up and the only people that be hitting me up is all the college students that I went to school with that's different melanations. That's building their libraries and they taking this back to teach their people. Even my comedic degrees, even my rose and the cross, all the stuff that I've been initiated and anointed with is worth millions to other people. That's why I said, what is wrong with us? Don't know nobody on the internet. Everything they saying, they talk about they did with some Bitcoin or they got some special wisdom. I can come and illuminate it. They'll be quiet. They'll disappear in 1.2 seconds because I have all the tricks that they trying to play on y'all. How? Because the wisdom. If you doing things in clandestine, you can't stand around what's real because you can't question it. I can question everything. This costs too bad. It costs 2 racks. I tell people be trying to spread separation. That's all. Even when the conscious community, I say they responsible for that. Because we don't know we are. We can't just say, well, this is better than that, or this is that. Yes, things may be older, but that don't mean things are not righteous. Here it is right here. And it ain't no such thing as no ancient black. Who shared this with the people? I don't tell you to go to some underground library and then I connect you to some Negro and we say, well, we're going to sell it for we going to sell it for $1,000. I ain't doing that. I converted everything to ebooks. You can get it from me for a small donation, or I can print it and bind it for you. This is what I be telling people. This, and then when we have our brick and mortar, we have a real library. I know how to do this. I did this as a dissertation. I said, I'm gonna have a real library where you can buy things, where you can come and study, real computers and all that at my temple, all this at my temple, where you can come study. All this stuff. This is what I tell people. It's like, come on. I said, you're not gonna get this in academia. Your professor's gonna be like, oh, whoever you're dealing with, you need to attach to him and hold dearly to him. I'm trying to tell you, I know this. Don't nobody have this? And if they do, they can say, man, however that brother got all this and the research that he done, man, that man is solid in A1. I ain't saying I'm the only one. I never say I'm the only one because I've been introduced to things. I know how to get things that's worth of value, and I know how to bring people together, and I know how to use our finances. That's a skill. So plate 1 is the archangel Michael, the same in the Quran as well. You know the archangel Michael, Gabriel. It's in the Quran too. Plate 2 is the Annunciation. Plate 3, the Virgin of the Quran. You know, verse 3, the virgin of the Corson. Plate 4, the ascension. Plate 5, Jesus in the temple of Jerusalem. Plate 6, the crucifixion. Plate 7, the transfiguration. Plate 8, the annunciation. Plate 9, the Holy Trinity. Plate 10, Saint Nicholas. Plate 11, the nativity. Plate 12, baptism of Christ. Plate 13, the death of the virgin. Plate 14, the divine wisdom. Man, it's so many plates. It's so many plates. And then page 12, plate 1, Our Lady of Vladimir. Plate 2, Saint Boris and Glebe. Plate 3, Resurrection. Man, I forgot to even, and as I'm breaking all this down, man, it's so much of scholarship to give you from the breakdown of those plates. I forgot to even go there. So let me reverse. Watch this. Okay, I'll just give you a little bit. Plate 1, the Archangel Michael, School of Moscow, circa 1550, by Colonial Dr. S. Amberge. Plate 2, the Annunciation, Strongnoval School, circa 1600, by Colonial M. Wilker, Possenhof, Germany. It's giving the people where they discovered this at. I'm giving you reference. Plate 3, the Virgin of Mary, School of Moscow, the 16th century. Colonel V. Werlin, Paris, France. Plate 4, the Ascension School of Moscow, 17th century. Y'all get what I'm saying? And then plate 1, Our Lady of Vladimir, the Byzantine icon, the 11th or 12th century. This in the Tikhonov Gallery in Moscow, Russia. What? The art gallery. I'm telling you, I got videotapes, I got recordings of stuff when I've been there. Professors been giving me stuff because their kids don't want them. And then when I illuminate this stuff to our brothers and sisters, they don't realize what they've been given to. And it might happen when the flesh was gone. But I'm not finna wait. I give stuff to people for pennies of the dollar to my people because I love them. And they still don't spread it. That's why I said, come on, brothers and sisters. I ain't one of these people that's done lied to you. No, I have something worth value. I know it's worth value because I'm selling way more to other people that respect what I'm doing. That say, a lot of my people now going to college, they're like, man, you just like Jeff Bezos. Your people don't understand that. They're like, they don't see what you're doing. All on the college campus, man. Everybody got books for me. They still do. That's how I'm able to do what I do. That's how I'm able to go to these different colleges. People know me. They use me as a source. Why don't my people? This is what I ask. I be waiting. Why don't my people? If my muftis will tell you all through the day how many books I give them when they be looking them up, if you was part of my tech stream in my school, you'll be like, damn, she just gave me 3 books and both of them books were $500, $600, $700. How he's connected to this? Because I'm connected to it. And then I give it to it for my brothers for $0. I don't ask for a penny. I say, whenever you get something, you can. But I sell this stuff. I make good money doing this stuff. And all I ask my people is for donations. I know I have something. That's why I said I'm not begging my people. I said I have a value. When I open my temple in school, I ain't telling my people to stop going to school. I'm giving something for we can have. That's going to be open 24 hours a day. That's going to be a resource to the community. Ain't closing nothing down, taking nobody away from nothing. That's crazy. You see? That's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about nothing else. I ain't talking about nothing else. When I show y'all plates, these are plates. And when I start showing you things of Saint Mark and all those things, what you see in the icons with the Moorish heads and all that, you will understand what I'm saying. They painted everything brown. They paint everything brown. And when people be coming with them lies, I'll be waiting. I say y'all lying. I say y'all lying. People been on my journey with me. Everything I talk about, I've documented. Everything I got old cameras when I was going to university with these professors. When I talk about the Grand Canyon, man, can't nobody tell me what's at the Grand Canyon. You can't tell me what's at the Grand Canyon, all these fake stupid videos. I'll make you sit on your hands with that fake stuff. You know? I keep telling y'all, Russian icons, when they be talking about, well, color don't matter, all this, I did my oral dissertation at Grand Canyon University. I said that the misnomer black man is the father of civilization, proven without a shadow of doubt. I prove it with the Bible alone. I said that the misnomer black man is the father of civilization, proven by the Bible alone. You could hear a pin drop. So can't nobody come to me when I'm saying something stupid. Man, I graduated from a university, from a Christian university, speaking just like this. You can't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. I've lectured this stuff. I lecture it. I have a group of people under my auspices. This year, watch. When I go to the graduation this year, GCU graduation, watch you see all these different people right next to me, parents thanking me for helping their kids graduate. All different nationalities. It was like, oh, he's so amazing, man. His library, this, that, and the other. My own people don't use me. Because they know. Because they know I have something. Because a lot of your people done took an oath. I'm telling y'all. And then ain't nobody going to be able to say I wasn't valid. Why? Because you're going to be able to document everything that I'm saying. Everything you're going to be saying is going to be documented. I've been showing y'all stuff. When I talked about the Ethiopian rabbi that taught Neville Goddard, I showed y'all how I've been in my community forever. Y'all in all different backgrounds. I've shown y'all this. So when I'm pulled to other places, nobody can say nothing because I do things for pennies, for small donations, and people don't assist. And it's okay. And it's okay. I say, and that's okay too. Because I say, I don't beg. I went in debt. Thousands of dollars. I've worked forever for government, as a behavioral health specialist for years. Now I created things that created my own platform where things are on automatic pilot with my business and my speakings and what I'm able to do and mentor other people. And as a physical fit trainer, I got license and all that. I have an office and all that. When I travel on my own dime. So can't nobody tell me what I don't know. Most of my colleagues are Europeans. I bet you not one European can get on here and say I'm saying something false. Because if they say they an educator and if they say they a Mason, they definitely gonna have to get on here and shake my hand. Because they know I know that I know that they know that they know that I know. I know, Carlin. So when people be talking that stuff, I am him. You can't come to me with no crap. I know what people gonna go in debt for. I got family members that's kids getting ready to go to college. I can help anybody graduate from college because one, your kid gonna have to write an APA format if they go into university. So if you're struggling writing an APA format, you're gonna have a problem. If you have to use the online library, you screwed. If you don't understand, you're going to have to turn your papers into this system called Turnitin system where you think you can plagiarize everything. You beep, beep, and you only got a couple times to turn it in. How I know? Because, man, I done told you. I done helped so many people graduate from college, you ain't listening. The only people that know it's real is the people that do real things. The only people that don't believe me is people that don't do nothing. So when people that have done these things and do real things, the first thing they say, man, I wish I had you when I was going through this. Well, you got me now. Because I know how this goes. I got connection to Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, Gnostic libraries. I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. Don't nobody come transparent with you. Who coming to show you the real place? The book that costs thousands of dollars on Amazon. I just showed you this costs stacks. I just told you how I convert books to PDFs. Why wouldn't you want this from me? Why wouldn't you want to get it? Why wouldn't you want to get it? Why wouldn't you want to get it? Because can't nobody say, like my professor said, when it's over, it's over. And that's what I tell everybody. And I say, what? When you miss out, you miss out. Can't nobody say I haven't did a solid. Can't nobody say I didn't offer something to a person. And can't nobody be mad at me when it's not offered no more. Can't none of my people that follow me. No one. No one. Because we be playing. No one can offer what I offer. Why? Because you're not connected to it. That's how. Because you just not connected to it. You know? That's what I'll be telling. I'll be telling people, I'll be like, man. And then when people be connected to me, I tell people like this. This is how I love people. I say, you tell me what it's worth. Because this is what I tell people. I say, what? You tell me what it's worth. Some of the places they try to have them in black and white. I tell a person, you tell me what it's worth. You saw how much it costs? You tell me what it's worth. When I be lecturing, when I be in my ministry, because when I'm in my ministry, I ask for things for a suggested donation. When I be lecturing Sunday school and adapt class, when I be in my ministry, Why the Feds book you wrote blows my mind. When I be in ministry, all I be asking for is a small donation, and people don't be listening. And I have my other phone up with a lot of people I graduated from college with. They be like, they still ain't listening to you, Sheik. I said, I know. They say, I be offering stuff for $40 and $50, and people ain't smart enough. It be people on there that know each other, and they won't put 25 and 25 together and get it from me. That's why I said, man, I said my people that I lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. I make this so simple. So nobody can be upset at me when I say I'm gone. Can't nobody be upset at me when you see this book costs $2,000, costs 2 racks. This what I be laughing, and all my friends and family that be on my page looking, liking stuff. And then when I do with my European colleagues in Arizona, my European lower level Masons, or my Jewish colleagues, or my Anglo-Saxon educators, they all buy them. Their kids buy them. They say, did you get that from Sheik? Did you get that from Sheik? Did you go to his lecture? You know he's going to be at the Philosophical Research Society, blah, 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 blah. Or you know he's going to be at this mosque. You know he's going to be at the library in Peoria. I do all this on my own dime. I do this all on my own dime. I travel on my own dime. That's why I said, dude, I never die pouring broke. All our old scholar books, I have a whole library. Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, Ivan Van Sertima, whatever you want. Sheikh Anta Diop. Books that cost racks through my college endeavors and through professors and things that I've met. All I gotta do is look at my background and see what I've been doing. That's why I've been telling y'all, can't nobody do it like this. That's why I be telling y'all, frauds beware. Frauds beware. Frauds beware. They know I'm telling the truth. You can't deny what I'm saying. When you come with that history, because you mad, because you of the turban of the feds, I'm gonna show you where all these people have their own perspective. Because they don't know, because we don't know who we are. And I say we all that. We all that. When you come with that religious perspective and say the Arab this, you don't know who the ancient Arab is, and you come with that other perspective, we're gonna illuminate it. And say that language, I already show you where the language come from. I already show my peoples where the language come from. And so then why you ask, why this stuff costs stacks? I just told you why. A lot of the places in black and white, but most of the places in black. They was Russian icons. Vladimir Putin didn't reveal nothing. How can Vladimir Putin reveal something that was already there? He just resurrected. He just resurrected. I told y'all. I said, I'm the only one that's going to be able to do this for y'all. And not saying that I'm no know-it-all. Why? Because I know I've been introduced to the wisdom. And I know I'm initiated, anointed, and consecrated. And the people that you think, I'm their teacher. Man, you go on our page, morrishaberdasher.com. We got clothes. We got the icon catalog. We got a whole brand, my Mufti Alonzo Wright Bey, because he's the graphic designer for everything we do at ALO Design Pros. We got a whole line of clothes and shirts called the Icons. We got a whole line called the Icons. Go on our company page, morrishaberdasher.com, and type in the Icons clothing. We got a whole brand of icons. And you telling me you don't want this? That's our problem. My people lost. Because people just be coming with the fugazi. I told y'all, I done the work. And my people lost. My people lost. It's going to be too late. I'm telling people, like, it's too late already. This is what I'm telling people. This is what people, my mooties will tell you, they're like, I don't think y'all catching what Sheik's saying. This is what I tell people. Like, it's too late. I've been doing this for years. That's what I tell people. It's like, this is time of the essence. This when I be saying, how bad do you want it? Do you want it as bad like you want breath? Most of us don't. This is what I be saying, how bad do we want it? Well, I want it this bad. We don't really want it. Until you want it just like you want to breathe, or you're gonna make the decision. Well, no, I'm gonna go to McDonald's. I'm gonna go get me an AFI. I'm gonna go get me an AFI. I tell people it's there. I got everything. I got everything what person need. Go. That's what I tell people. How a person know they asking me? I have a company. This is what I tell people. The wisdom is there. So when I tell people all these books, how I can build your library, I say, we done. And people been rocking with me for years. I be like, what? Why you ain't rocking with me all the way? We build our temple infrastructure. Why we ain't doing things the right way? Because all this literature I'm showing people is too late. When I done lectures and things, people be right there listening to me like, damn, he just offered this, and I show how much it costs. And my people that look like me, they it just go over their heads. And I'll be like, what's the problem? And then they'll go to Amazon and spend $3,000-$4,000 for stuff. You look at the comments, and when people be buying things, they be trying to keep you away from it. And then other comments that's truth tellers, no matter what color they are, they'll be like, man, I don't know why it cost that much, but I'm glad I bought it. They say all colleges should have this. They say all colleges and universities should have this. That's what it says. It said this is the University of the Florida Libraries. That's what it says. That's what it says. Just like when I showed all the stuff about blacks and all the scholars in first century, who we are. People be all over the place, man. That's what I'll be telling you. And that's what I'll be saying. It's just like if a person go to jail, it's just like if a person go to jail, they'll go spend their money on a court-appointed attorney to plead to a lesser charge. But they'll, no disrespect, they'll come and ask me 15 million questions when I'm talking on a specific topic. And I say, you see how we do each other? And that's what I be saying is like, man, no focus. And it ain't no disrespect. Because if a person dealing with me and I tell people we have these private lessons and I teach this, I have a business degree, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. So if people know you can't walk in a public library, they know this. And then when people be educated, I say, have you ever been to a lecture? They say yes. And I say, well then, what at the lecture, what is the lecturer or the educator or the professor doing? Lecturing on a specific topic. So if the lecturer or the lecturer or the professor, if he or she is lecturing on a specific topic, can you raise your hand and say, hey man, how do you build cars? Hey man, do you believe, what's the name of the first man? And we may be talking about diabetes. Like, do y'all understand what I'm saying? This is what we do. This is what we do. And I say, I teach this if we come to class, if we learn. This is what I be saying, my people. But that's what we do. When we hear brothers that try to get me, and I stand no one doing this, and throw a whole bunch of million questions at me. Bam, bam. What about this? Well, how do we build this? Or how do we build that? Thank you. This says, nope, you have to stay in scope. So if that's the case, if I'm talking on a specific topic, no disrespect, and somebody throws something off the wall to me, what's the purpose of that? Then the person that get mad at me, oh, he ain't answering my question. It's like, why I gotta answer your question? I'm talking about a specific topic. The question is already had. When I teach business class, if you be a student, you don't have to be a member, but you can be a student, give donations, get the wisdom, be attentive. This is what I tell people, and that's who we are. I'm not debating no one. I'm a teacher. I'm a mufti. I'm a sheikh. I'm a leader of a small group of men all over the globe, not just my muftis. Yeah, it's out of order. Thank you. So if we notice, I'm not trying to be no butthead. I'm talking about I do things in order. So when people come to me like that, and I'm speaking on a specific topic, and they just go ramble up at the mouth, what about this? And then I say, hey man, slow down. And then the first thing people do, like, see, he arrogant. I ain't arrogant. You, something wrong with you. When all the time we done went to school, we ain't asked our teachers nothing about what I talked about. Nothing about what I shared. We ain't asked our moms, our uncles about nothing. I'm giving people stuff that you have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for. I know people in debt right now, stacks. I'm telling you, I got professors that get their books from me. I'm telling y'all. If we ain't listening and being astute to what I'm saying, that's why I said I'm finna be done in a minute. Because this is what we do. This is what our people do. And I ain't never got this from no European. If you say the black man is stupid and all this, well, and this, that, and the other, well, clearly, I tell you I'm not black. I tell y'all when I have lectures and I graduated from university and most of my lectures be filled with Europeans and Masons and my European Jewish colleagues and all this, and I sell all of my books and I be signing stuff. This ain't no game. This ain't no game. So now, I showed y'all the book the other day. Then I showed y'all this book. Nobody hit me up, but a couple people I went to school with. because they follow me on my other platform. I done gave this to all my moosties. So here go 2 books right here I got on my hand. 2,500 and 2 grand. You do the math. 4,500 for 2 books. $4,500 on Amazon, and they use, and I have everything right here. And I converted them to ebooks. And you don't want this? Why don't you? Why don't you? Look how much the book costs. I just showed you how much the book costs. I just showed you. I showed you this book, and I showed you this book. Nobody that follow me, everybody be saying, oh, you so good, you so this. I can't tell. I've written, gathered, and compiled books to clear the science up and iron more science history. Nobody got them. Then when they get them, I'm not talking about nobody. Oh, they're so illuminated. Man, I done had these books written for over 5, 6, 7, forever. It's old. Old as hell. Old as hell. All this stuff old as hell. Oh, you see it? It's 2 bands. 2,500. $2,499. $2,499. Then I showed you the Russian icons. $4,500 for 2 books. Do you got $4,500 for them? No. Here go Negro the Scoop, man. I want the whole book. I have the real books. I have the originals in most books. I have limited editions in most books too. And then when you do business with me, when you do business with me, I give you gifts. You don't get that from no other platform. You don't get that from Amazon. You don't get that from Barnes and Nobles. Why? Because I'm the source. I can give people gifts. Because I can. Melanin, the chemical key to black greatness, the harmful effects of toxic drugs on melanin centers with the black human. You know, when I don't say what's good and what's bad, but when you have these people, I'm just saying, they won't teach science. I teach science and why, people are addicted to certain things. But then you have these people that say, well, if you smoke marijuana, that's the devil and all that. And I say, well, alcohol is poison. And then all the other acts of life is poison. When you point like that, that's a problem. But from low understanding, you have a problem because being unhealthy is a problem. But when you come from an understanding and you say it's from the devil, keep that in your mind because I'm going to show you something. Because most people are not initiated. And I'm going to show you a piece of wisdom. Y'all will be like, well, where the hell did he get this from? I told y'all I deal with all crafts of wisdom. Why? Because as an adapt, if I go here, I have to understand. I have to know this. Especially when I'm dealing with culture, I know culture. And that's just all what I'm telling my brothers and sisters. And you can't get mad at me. No one can put a cap on me. No one can make me feel ashamed of wearing my turban, my fez, my yarmulke, my kufi, anything that I wear, my talent. No one. No one can say, oh, we the original this. I don't care about nothing you saying. Nothing. I choose. I am who I am. I have the right to be who I am. Anything else is uncivilized to me. Point blank. I have the choice. And I'm my father's son. Always. So when I speak and when I teach, I'm teaching from a perspective of understanding, for you can understand some things. And you have eyes to see something that you're not going to get, something that nobody's going to give to you because they're gatekeepers. And when they can gatekeep and keep you from going in the door, that means they can control your programming. And I'm telling you, them Negroes ain't nothing. Line them all up. Line any Negro, any Mason, any a Greek fraternity, any one of your friends, your moms, your aunties, that's an Eastern Star, line them all up. And I bet you they'd be like this, zip lip. They'll have to be. Because I'll do one thing and they'll have to. And they'll sit on their hands. They'll have to. Because I'm not coming from no disrespect. I'm coming with straight love. And I done told us from a million times. We don't listen. When your brother has been initiated and anointed and I'm telling you things and I'm giving you secret sciences, why don't we listen? Why don't we listen? Why don't we gravitate to our brother that's been showing you things? That's a operation. I'm 48 years old. When people be talking about alchemy, I said, you looking at alchemy. You ain't paying attention? When people be talking about choices, I said, you looking at alchemy. Or what should I do? They don't get it. Then they be talking about the science. I say, it's not religion. You own religion. This is the Islam we are is mapping guide. Tasawwuf. I'm a vessel. I lead the way. So if this is a dojo, the teacher, the sensei, the Sufi leads the way. And all my brothers and sisters, it's more than fighting with their hands and feet. It's the discipline. Everything else in life comes to synchronize. And you can't be a student looking through the window. You can't be a member looking through the window. This is what brothers don't understand. And so when I teach this holisticness and when I teach all this stuff that relate to life, I'll be trying to tell you, when I teach, your body have to be made up in a certain way to be able to take these things. When your body is in defense mode, some things can't be done. It's things that we put on us that give life. It's things that we put in us that give death. Disease and the disease don't equal healing. This is what I tell people. It's a lifestyle. And that's like I use the analogy of rat poison. It ain't all poison. It's a little bit that the rat go to it. It kills them slowly. It's a lifestyle. Just like when people talk about water don't do nothing for you. Okay, well, water does what? It cleans you out. Just like when you burn in sage. Sage takes out all the energy, the negative and the positive. But then you got to bring something in to bring all that back, to bring all those energies. Are you listening to what I'm talking about? So you can use water to do what? Flush you out. It's other things that can do that, but that's done for that. It's other ways you can get the H2O or HCO, however you want to call it. You know how? Natural fruits, vegetables, blended, all these things. It's things to be done. It's a lifestyle. But when people be professing things and when people be saying they gurus, I say, brother, y'all missing it because your brother is all that. I'm a walking testimony. And if people still alive when my transition happened, y'all gonna be, everybody can say, well, he was honest from day one. Because I know what I have. I know what I have, and what I'm doing is a multi-billion operation. I know it. I know it. And with the help of the people, and when brother was talking about wealth, I mean, I talk wealth every day. You know? I talk about wealth every day. When I talk about substantial wealth, if people was part of my text stream, they'd be like, Sheik, be talking about this all day. My mufti just put in the text stream about our taxes. And then people don't know how to go all the way with it because they're not who I am. And those people are not who others that know this. I asked people, have you watched The Sopranos? Yeah, but what was Sopranos under all their business? They were under the organization. They were Catholics. They had lawyer and client confidentiality. That's how they were able to go and testify without going to jail. But you can donate to your religious and charitable organization. So if you imagine you got hundreds and hundreds of people in your neighborhood that's working a 9 to 5 and have to pay taxes to Uncle Sam, no matter if you working for somebody or you have your own business and you got to pay taxes, no matter if you're a barber or whatever, and you have to pay taxes, you can give a huge chunk to your religious and charitable contribution of your choice. That's how you build substantial wealth. Where? In your community. Because that community is tax exempt for the federal government. So all the school and all the education, all the housing, all of whatever you want to do, teaching the kids. If it's community development, then you are what? Tax exempt for the federal government. Then you don't need what? Federal mandated money, which they call the faith-based initiative. Then they can't tell you what to do. Because when you tax exempt for the government, when you operate like that, the religious laws protect you. This is what I'm telling people. So that general wealth mess don't mean nothing to me. Generational wealth is something I can show you with your real eyes. A group of people, community, families. Once you see that everybody working and they giving their money to Uncle Sam, which is a private banking system, and once you realize that you got somebody in your family that's a divine minister, that's tax exempt for the federal government, religious, charitable, scientifically, that's an educator, a teacher, a divine minister, that's a Sufi, that's a shaman, that's a sheikh, that's a royal priest, not no black preacher or none of that, then we ain't gravitating to nothing. And we can keep complaining about the schools and all this. All my Jewish professors, they started off with little schools, big schools, now they got high schools. I show this. So that's the only way. It ain't no other way. The other way is all our friends that went pro. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I know so many people that went pro. So back to the separation of Allah and state. It ain't no separation no more. This is what I tell people. It ain't no separation no more of Allah from state or God and state. If people know this, the laws have been changed. That's why I keep telling y'all. Like, people have to be up on things, just like in certain laws and areas and jurisdictions. You have to know these things. We have to know what's going on. But this never changed. This always been in effect forever. Like this, the religious law have always been like this. That's how the church is maintained. This is why I be telling people, misnomer black people, they don't know. They be looking at me all stupid, and my European people be like, man, they stupid. And I hate to say it like this. This is how the black churches is wealthy. The black churches ain't poor, y'all. The black churches is tax exempt from the federal government. That's religious, charitable, scientific, educationally. Everything is free. The damn pastor, he tax exempt. So if a pastor is living in a parsonage, that's free. Y'all paying for it. Everything is tax exempt. Everything. So if you got organization in the church, you should be able to use the tax exempt status. How? So you don't pay no taxes. When I have my brick and mortar out here in Arizona, all my members was able to go to Fry's, and every 3 months we got a quarterly check because we didn't have to pay no taxes. We have to register because we were the tax exempt organization. This is what I be telling y'all. You've been sharing. I'm a truth teller, and that's how we can build our community. The church ain't poor; they still here. These is keys. The pastor is tax exempt for the federal government. Everything he get is 100% tax exempt. All donations, everything is tax exempt. But when you want to do something in the church as a member, you got to come out your pocket. You should be able to use the tax exempt status. Y'all should be able to have business meetings. Why? If money coming in, why not? Why? Why not if money coming in? Why you can't do things in the church? Why you can't have a mentoring program in the church? Why you can't have a basketball team? Why you can't have a mentor for the boys and girls? Why y'all can't have your own Scouts and all y'all junior nobles? Why y'all can't take the kids to the basketball games? All this stuff that. Why y'all can't take the kids to the zoo or show them whatever they want to be, bring professionals in and all this and all that? Because it's a sham, and I know how to do it, and I've been in the fire, and can't nobody tell me I'm lying. This is how. So that's how you make generational wealth. How? Because the people are not part of the church. The church is the people. The pastor ain't gonna have nothing if the people not giving donations. And then on the flip side of that, Brother Carlin, these preachers, these churches, these brothers not gonna taxes and receipt. So you paying taxes twice. What you mean? You're already donating to your church. How? Your membership dues and your donations. And then at the end of the year, you got to owe Uncle Sam a fat check, especially if you're making over 100 bands. Why? Because you don't have no deductions. But you just gave maybe say if you gave $1,000 a month to your church, you just gave your church $12,000 a year, and you gave them donations and offerings. You know. And you gave them offerings, and you ain't even get a tax exempt receipt from your church to claim on your taxes, huh? So that means you finna pay taxes again. But with me, this is what I'm telling us. This is what I'm saying. You know what I know. Most people, they'll try to file exempt for taxes on their job for 6 months, and then you got to file taxes again. But when you're part of an organization, really you can file taxes for exempt forever. Why? Because you already paying them. Why? Because if you don't do it yourself, the law says Uncle Sam will do it. You have to show this. That's why I said I'm tax exempt for the federal government, religious and charitable and contribution of your choice. That's why all rich people, they set up nonprofits. And that's why I said ain't nothing fake about me. I ain't apply for no fake ass PPP loan. You know, when it was going on, people like, you can really get one. I said, well, I don't need it. I said, well, it would have been good because I probably would be at the level that I need to be now. But I didn't do that. I was going the other way. But this is what I'll be telling us. We have the resources. How? Then at the end of the year, everybody trying to file fake taxes, but don't know how the other people, the Jews, the European Jews, and everybody else that know what I'm saying, that use their tax dollars to build their religious and charitable contribution of their choice in their community. That's how they built it. And then when they have businesses, Negroes, they say, oh, the Arab, they got a special law. They get some free money. They ain't getting no free money. It's just law. You can hire your kids. If you got your own business, I tell people to hire your wife, your children. You get a $12,000 tax break for hiring your kid. You get tax breaks for hiring your family. So if that's the case, I would hire all my family. But people don't understand it because we don't have these conversations. You don't have nobody like me. So then you throw all your money away to Uncle Sam. And then you think your money is going to pay to run the United States of America and to sit in a private banking system. I'm telling you what I know. And then we go to these other establishments that's ran on faith-based initiative, which is federal mandated programs and money, and think we can go in there and disturb them. That's what I be telling people. Stop disturbing this stuff. I hate when people won't be on YouTube. They be going into the Jehovah's Witness house and all that, disturbing them. Do they know Jesus? No, they promulgating their own thing. You disrespectful going with your dirty shoes in somebody else's house. If you feel that way, do what I'm saying and build. And this is what I'm telling us. We have the opportunity to do something beautiful while I'm here. This is what I'm telling us. We have something to do. We have an opportunity to do something beautiful while I'm here. My family and friends, I've been telling them this for a long time. All my family and friends that work, it fall on deaf ears. When I'm gone, it's over. And this is what I tell people. Why everybody look at me and everybody pay taxes to Uncle Sam. Everybody that I know. And your tax preparer, a tax lawyer can say, well, yeah, this brother is telling you truth. Just imagine if you have 300 family members giving you $300 a month and you give them a tax exempt receipt. I mean $100 a month. I ain't say $300 a month. I said $100 a month. That's 300 grand a year. And that's pennies compared to what these mega churches doing. That's pennies to what people gave to these people that said they're going to make a school. And you didn't even get a tax exempt receipt to make you feel okay. You ain't even get to see nothing. And I have a full library. I'm an ally. I'm a resource. That's why I say a workman is due his hire. So let's proceed. These books I show y'all cost a grip. So what's in here? I'm not going to stay too far. I just wanted to show you. It's in here. This is what you get at the BBT. Why this book costs all that money? Why this book costs $2,400? Why do you think it costs $2,400? Why do you think it costs $2,400? Why do you think? Why do you think this book costs $1,999? Why do you think? And it's just 2 books. And this is right here, Melanin, the Chemical Key to Black Greatness. And you don't want to read this? And you don't want to read this? When I talk about when people try to say this is the devil, I said, now you got to understand, growing your own things, drinking herbs and all this stuff. It's a lot of things that our people don't know because you're not initiated and you're not in different crowds. And people can use things for the wrong way, just like a straight razor. Just like anything, I tell people, religious dogma keep us separated. Just like this book. I'm not a gatekeeper. You see people on TikTok talking about all this. I can burn this book up. I live this. This book ain't nothing but what? Herbology for home study. And then my mufti that's on my Facebook page, we got all the herbs. I love Dr. CB, but I show y'all. Come on. I run 10 miles every single day. Every single day. Every single day. No matter if I'm in Michigan, California, Vegas, no matter, I do the same thing, same repetition. I eat the same thing every day. Of course, I'll go out and have a good time with my wife and eat good food. But I know how to purify myself. I do the same thing every day. So when I talk about health and wealth, I'm not no gatekeeper. And here in this book right here, it's a chapter talking about diabetes, type 2 protocol, chapter 15. Right in here, chapter 15. Chapter 15, diabetes, type 2 protocol. My mufti on my Facebook page, he like universal wisdom, Islam Sheik. You damn right. This is what I be telling my people. We lost. I'm telling y'all, if I was saying something stupid, how can I teach Europeans and y'all think they heavy and lawyers and all this and they kids? And they say, well, I would love for you to teach my kids. Just like when I was doing personal training out here in Arizona, I ain't know nobody. The only people I knew was professors and lawyers and people that had companies. I was training their kids at the YMCA. They was paying me stupid money. I wasn't used to that. That's how I was able to stack up a lot. Man, here it is, these people paying me $1,000 a month to train their kids. I'm showing them all discipline. I'm showing angles. I'm showing them how to think. I'm showing them strength. They're like, that's nothing. And I was taxing them for the federal government. They say, so this part of your ministry? They were like, so I can just write the check to your nonprofit? Yeah. You give me a tax exempt receipt? Yeah, because this was part of my ministry. This is why I be telling us we be lost, man. We be lost. And our people just looking, just looking. Just be looking. Can't nobody say nothing disagree with what I said on Instagram, a university or nothing. Our people just not used to it. And we use our dollars for the wrong thing. So that's how we can have universal or substantial wealth in our community with a group of people that say they have a religion or a belief system. And I ask your parents and all this, they've been going to the same church forever in the community. And what do the church own? I don't see the church own no houses. I don't see the church own no schools, no libraries. I don't see nothing. I don't see nothing. The church don't produce nothing. What do the church produce? What do the church produce? No disrespect to no one. So what? What the leadership? So where all the money going? The church been paid over 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, 10 times over. The church been built in the early goddamn 1600s per se. And you talking about this. Come on, man. This is what I'm saying. That's how we build it. And then you sit down as an organization with brothers and say, hey, man, we gross $10 million. What people been connected to something that's worth $10 million? What people been connected to something that's worth $1 million that's growth that can come in every year with everybody giving a small donation? And all the ideas that we have that can run through our tax-exempt organization, our brotherhood, our fraternal order, which is a religious and charitable contribution of the choice. And we do community service. And we go into schools and we go and teach and we do all this. That's how we operate. And we able to apply for grants, not no loans. Because I'm not a gatekeeper. I show people how to apply for grants. I show people how to do this, but you got to be ready. What do you mean? Go on, what state you in? I ask somebody, what state you in? If I'm in Texas, go on Texas Grant Watch. The floodgates will be open. I'll show you how to do this. This is what I'm telling y'all. We off. And we just look at stuff and be like, yep, that's true. We look at stuff and be like, yep, that's true. But that's the problem. And we diss things that we don't know. That's the problem with most of our people. We diss things that we don't know. You see these people with the programming, this is a devil. Okay, but I deal with different cultures. That's just like saying this is the devil. And I done showed you your culture. I done showed you the icons. I done showed you what they keep away from you. Now I'm going to show you another piece of literature. You probably never seen this in your life. You probably never seen this in your life. You probably never seen this in your life. And I told people, when you hating, when you saying this better than this, or when you saying this and that, you probably don't even know what the hell going on. You probably don't even know what you see. Why? Because you've been programmed. And when you program, you don't have a true understanding. You don't know how to use keys. You don't know how to use tools. If I teach you about the DMT and I told you it's a spirit molecule, and I'm telling you people can use things to go in that holistic state, then I'm telling you you can get these things from inside. But also with certain natural things that can get you in that state. So if I show you ancient things, and if I show you words, that herbs that have seeds, and I start showing you things with an eye, I hope you don't be biased. Just be like, oh, I didn't have eyes to see that. I ain't saying abuse nothing. I ain't saying this is right or wrong. I'm saying, I'm challenging you to say, hey man, I didn't see that. You know what I mean? I'm challenging you to say, hey man, I didn't see that. You profess to know something. You profess you know some metanet or some science, but you don't know what I'm talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about. Or you coming from a hate perspective because you've been programmed. When I say language, I've studied all language. I have all alphabet. I've been in all houses of wisdom, especially our wisdom, especially our melanation, especially our brothers in craft. So I don't diss nothing. I have a true understanding. Because when you start seeing things, you're going to start seeing signs and symbols. You're going to start seeing Mayat symbols. You're going to start seeing everything on everything. You're going to start saying relate. Just like when I talk about Credo Matua, the Moradines. When I talk about all our prophets, when I talk about Sheikh Bamboo Falls, when I talk about the Black Hitler of Harlem, hell, when I talk about all our brothers, they all have some good. Haile Selassie, whatever you want to call it, Dr. York, all them brothers have some good. That's why I keep telling us, we got to stop dissing wisdom. No one can diss wisdom. Hell, I remember when I was having a conference, some goofy Negro with a dirty fez and missing teeth was going to jump in my inbox, because that's what Negroes do. All they do is jump in your inbox and make threats. But then when they find out what's going on, they be trying to have their family apologize, but you ain't got to apologize. It's in my database. Or who your sheik think he is, or who your sheik think he is. He think he's some Dr. York. He thinks he all this. One of my professors was like, you got to be stupid. He all that, fool. The good stuff, he all that. So if you're a philosopher and you study wisdom, you know that where the wisdom come from, a lot of times where these people get it from. I'm stating it. If these people is in the flesh, they have to be quiet, because I know where the science come from. That's why. And man is not greater than the science. That's why I said they can't say nothing. They'll be like, how you know this? They'll have to talk to me in corners. That's why I said I'm giving y'all something. When I ask for small donations, I'm not putting nothing in my pocket. Once this go to where we need to go, y'all gonna see the infrastructure. I was able to be part of an ancient library and a brotherhood called the Philosophical Research Society, to where most people don't know from. Look it up. And then most people, you probably can become a member of the library, but not some extra that I am. How I know? Because I'm just telling you. I'm able to bring this back. I have a full library. And with my connections, I can make this happen. How? I just told y'all, scholars lived in the museum. I've been in the museum for over 10 years. I started studying in the museum in my academic endeavor when I first met certain people at GCU, when I first met these Jewish professors. And when they like, well, you're not Al-Islam, nope, you're not this, nope. When I started showing them a lot of my literature of man-made in the image of Elohim and my IDM mark charts, that's a lot of stuff was introduced to me. I was able to walk, you know what I mean, with certain places. And it was showed that I have to establish my own. Because I can't go backwards. And that's what I said, it's going to take me a little longer. Why? Because I don't have no trick. I have the keys. If I didn't say I didn't have the keys, I wouldn't say it. If I didn't say I didn't have the keys, I wouldn't say it. Can't no elder come on my page talking that stuff. No Muslim, no nothing. Because I'm illuminated. And I know your angle. I know your religious angle, if you have one. Why? Because it's going to be illuminated. That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you facts and scholarship. And if the European, the professors, all them agree with me, why not you? If they say this man got some good, that's what they doing, and they using the model, using their tax dollars, why not us? Why not us? Why not us? That's what I tell people. I'm transparent. Give me the opportunity. So when I deal with my Rastafarian brothers and sisters, some of you may know, some of you may not. I'm going to show y'all some things. I'm not here to hate nobody. Just like certain people that, they'll say, well, this person said that they were God in the flesh. I'm not hating nobody. You could say, I say we all were made in the image of the Creator. I say ye all are gods. So I'm not that little to question people's inspiration. So when people come out and I gotta say where you're not this because I'm saying it. I don't have to say that. But some people that have written good things have said that about other people's. That ain't my perspective. All I'm saying is man is not greater than the wisdom. That's what I'm saying. And so when I talk about the Ethiopian perspective, you know, I studied all that. They have one oldest version of the Bible. That's what they say. But however old the version may be, in whatever language it may be written, the word remains the same. It transcends all boundaries of empires and all concepts of race. It is eternal. No doubt, you all remember reading the Acts of the Apostles, how Philip baptized the Ethiopian official. He is the first Ethiopian on record, right, to have followed Christ. And then, this is what these people say on these conscious communities, the Negroes following white Jesus. They following a white Jesus because it's all Greek. But where were you? That's not historical. Well, you talk about a Greek perspective. That's why I be saying how heavy you come. You want to come. I get that, but like I said, the followers. I can show you that the misnumbered black man is the father of civilization, proved by the Bible alone. So whatever angle you coming with, you missing me with that. You like clearly you missing me when you stoop that low. And from day onward, of the God has continued to grow in the hearts of Ethiopians. And I might say for myself that from early childhood, I was taught to appreciate the Bible. And my love for it increased with the passage of time. Because of this personal experience in the goodness of the Bible, I was resolved that all my countrymen should also share it great blessings, and that by reading the Bible, they should find truth for themselves. Therefore, I caused a new translation to be made, form our ancient language into the language which the old and the young understood and spoke. Today, man sees all his hopes and aspirations crumbling before him. He is perplexed and knows not whether he is drifting. But he must realize that the Bible is his refuge and the rallying point for all humanity. That's why I be waiting for the Muslim brothers to be coming with that stuff. And I say, man, I'll show you that your whole Bible, your whole Quran is Judeo-Christian terminology. I jump right in the House of Wisdom. That's in the Library of Alexander. I told y'all, I study in the museum. One of the museums is what? The Philosophical Research Society. I done check mark when anybody be keep coming. I'm gonna start coming matter-factual. I'm gonna start coming with it all and say, stop it. Because a lot of the language, Quran, Surah, Hadith, all that is old Jewish terminology. Judeo terminology can be proven from linguistics. Can't be mad at your brother. I told y'all, I was able to go in all houses. And this is just what it is. And in the main, where you'll find the solution to the present difficulties and guidance for the future actions. But the Bible and its great message, he cannot hope for salvation. For my part, I glory in the Bible, the Lion of Judah, Ministry of Education and Fine Arts, when I'm dealing with my Ethiopian concept. You know, I'm going to show y'all some stuff when they talk about the 144,000. I'm going to show y'all pictures. When I tell people, I have the pleasure to study in all houses. So if somebody went to some seminary, I ain't disrespecting you. I know you just don't know nothing. If you got a degree in so-called African-American history, I ain't dissing you. I just know you don't know nothing. Your law degree don't mean nothing. I've challenged you. I was able to do this in academia. My professors were prosecutor, attorneys, judges. You know? When I talk about the Beta Israel, the word will touch the divine in you for those who seek to know more about his imperial majesty. Now they talk about Haile Selassie. But like I said, I studied all walks. So when I deal with my people, I can relate. Now known as Abba Kudus, to find the way to the African Zion and seek the book called the Book of Seven Seals. Remember I showed y'all a different book of the Seven Seals? Remember I told y'all I'm going to keep capping stuff. Y'all remember that? I told y'all. And he was coming, and I came from a whole different perspective. Oh, I don't even know where I put it. But I hope my brothers remember. I just went over the book of the Seven Seals in another perspective last week. I told y'all everything, when you're dealing with scholarship, when you're dealing with a map and a guide and wisdom, everything is going to line up. Just like I showed y'all yesterday what lined up. The Battle of Bunker Hill. I showed y'all how they whitewashed Oliver Cromwell, right? and Peter Salmon out of what? The Battle of Bunker Hill. I showed this. Everything is going to start lining up. And so when I talk about the cannabis matrix, the shishat. Now, listen what I'm saying. The shishat, the S-E-S-H-A-T, the shishat, the shishat. Now, remember a lot of symbols. When people just be trying to throw things because that's their religious dogma. We ain't talking about doing nothing wrong. Because anytime somebody throw a dart, they always got an angle. They always got an angle. When they say, well, that's the devil, how can it be the devil? And these are in things that's not quantified as the devil. So can your angle be the devil? Can the way you use the things can be the devil? The way you take your religious aspect, could it make you a devil? Hail to the Yizel. You see? This is what I'm telling people. Your angle is off. When you say, oh, this is the devil, well, then where you getting it from? That sounds like some hate stuff. But your religion makes you a god. That's goofy because you don't know. And so when I break it down, the body, when I break down concepts, when I say I'm not telling you what to do, I'm giving you a clear understanding. So when you're doing things, you know. When you know culture, when you're dealing with your body, you just saying, listen to no guru. You have an example, your brother. And when you have somebody real that you can touch, I ain't nobody that's no mortar. I love Dr. Sebi. I get that. I'm alive. I'm telling you, if Dr. Sebi was live, I say, well, I get what you're saying, but that's the herbology for home study, and I have the wisdom. I say, I get a lot of stuff, but I'm in the flesh. I say, so you telling me you don't work out and do all that, so you got to do all this and just what? Chill and without no working out, so your body will atrophy, so you just want to get skinny and slim? No. So it's not going to be any physical fitness. It's not going to be any muscle mass building. So we're not going to build anything around that heart, around that body, around those limbs to keep us tearing. We're not going to do none of that. I think we're not given all the wisdom. This wisdom is holistic. We ain't got to deal with no magic trick. It ain't no magic trick. Ain't no wand. If you got diabetes, I can examine you and tell you how you got it. Now, can I reverse it? I can give you the keys to reverse it. Reversing it is on you. Why? Because you got to apply the keys that I'm giving you. If I give you some keys and say you start your car, you never get in the car and start it up, then what? If I say, here go the battery, that's the only thing wrong with your car, plug the battery up and you go, it ain't on me. I can give you the keys. But what we want to do, we think the medicine is going to heal us. And then what? A lot of us die. What? Taking the medicine. Why? Because we take medicine while we still eating bullshit. Excuse my candor. I'm saying it like that. If nobody don't like what I'm saying, it don't matter. I know what the deal is. I know what the deal is. Oh, I'm taking this medicine. Then I look at how you eat. You eat like a garbage pail kid. You eat like Oscar the Grouch. Well, then the medicine ain't doing no good. Really, it's poison. And you don't even know it. How? And then you're feeding them more poison. How? Let's see what you're eating. Your food's supposed to be medicine. Your concoction, the stuff you mix up, knowing your blood type supposed to be your medicine. The way your body gets rid of waste supposed to be that. The way you sweat, let out impurities. You're not no damn pig. You're supposed to sweat. You're supposed to flush out impurities. You're supposed to. That's natural. Your body is a system. You're supposed to get sun. That's why I tell people Arizona is God's place. They be like, is it hot out there? Yes. But the sun is rejuvenate me. I'm sun-kissed. I'm not sun-cursed. That's what I be telling people. I say, you've been lost. You've been caught up. You've been had. You've been shammed. You've been hoodwinked by people that don't know. And it just make things bad. What? Everything you do, they make it bad. Now, let's deal with it. I'm going to deal with a little bit of compose. Let me show you a little pictorial. I ain't even going to stay too long because I'm going to be out of here. I just had a little free time. I deal with all different type of people. And when I say Rastafarian, I know people that ain't even melanated that's under the Rastafarian. It's a song by who? Tyrus Riley, I think. No, Lucky Dube. It's a song by Lucky Dube. He say, you don't have to be dread to be Rasta, yeah. You don't have to be dread. It's not a dreadlock thing. It's a confession of the heart. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You don't have to be dread to be Rasta, yeah. It's not a dreadlock thing. It's a confession from the heart. Oh yeah. That's my jam. Lucky Dube and Tyrus Riley, man, them my boys. They got some hits. If y'all like that type of music, check out Lucky Dube and Tyrus Riley. They got some hits. To me. And I think you would like their music. But anyway, yeah, that's the cannabis crucifixion at the Palace of the Skull. Matthew 27:33, Mark 15:22, John 19:17. I'm gonna show y'all a little something, something. Come on, walk with me, walk with me, walk with me, walk with me, walk with me. But I don't want to stay too far in it, but I'll give you a little preface. Ras Idonis Tafari, the co-founder of the Lion of Judah Society of His Imperial Majesty, proclaimer of the Gospel of Haile Selassie I, based upon the Book of the Seven Seals, prevailed as the Haile Selassie I Revised Amharic Bible, and known officially as the 1961 AD Authorized Amharic Bible of the Imperial Realm of the Conquering Lion of Judah. And I have it over there, you know, but I don't have time to go get it. You know? So I don't have time to go get it. You know what he say? Yeah. So, and we lecture that, but I share with all my brothers and sisters, I haven't even shared everything that I'm introduced to, that I know, that I have. You know? I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody was asking me about a book. Yeah. I got it for you. I try to break things down slowly. And then I try to get our brothers and sisters interest. Like, I'm not a gatekeeper. I show everything. You know? Let me show y'all something else. Since this fits what we're talking about. I show everything. No matter if you heard of it or if not, I can show you how to. I don't have no problem. You see that right there? A lot of people may never even seen that. I have all this stuff. So when people be trying to say, whoa, and they try to come with their perspective, I'm gonna come with your wisdom. And then you're gonna try to talk to me on the side. And then I have the alphabet. So when someone has the alphabet and when someone has the wisdom, you can't get mad at me. You can't get mad at nothing that I speak on. Because I have an understanding and I've been introduced to the wisdom, I'm telling brothers to use me as an ally. I'm saying help us build something. When I talk about scholars lived in the museum, I'm talking about myself in the flesh as well. This is what I'm talking about. People was paid to be in the museum and translate research. That's what the House of Wisdom was all about in Alexandria. How they was taking all those other scriptures and transferring them to Arabic writings. But they ain't gonna tell you that. How you know that, Sheik? Because I've been introduced to it. I bet you they won't get on here and say I'm lying. I bet you they can't. I mean, because they can't. I bet you they won't tell you where surah and all that hadith and all that come from and all that terminology come from. You see? But it's revived from the Aramaic Bible and known officially as the 1961 Authorized Aramaic Bible of the Lion of Judah, you know, Haile Selassie, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know that. Y'all heard the story. And I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong, but what I'm saying, when a person know you don't have something, they can come as an authority. And I say, there ain't nobody authority over me. Ain't nobody authority of what your brother have. Why? Because I've been introduced to all the wisdom. It's the wisdom. The adapt chamber is the wisdom. It ain't a phone call with some old fart. Excuse my candor. And you can take it how you want to. That ain't the adapt chamber. You having a phone call with an old fart and they telling you how to break the law. That ain't it. That ain't it. You know, we compose many books documenting evidence and other works in demonstration of our faith in the God and in Christ revealed in the truth light of the revelation of Rastafari since 1991 AD. Okay. Gratitude. Previously, we had also composed and published several articles, but let me get to the wisdom because I don't want to keep going all through this. Revelation 1:1, the revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass, and he sent and signified by his angel unto his servant John. Our Gnostic relationship, this stuff is Gnostic. I ain't gonna stay in that because it, it just, we can't get caught up in things that we don't know, and people don't have the connection. So this is what I tell people: it's just what it is. You can't be mad. You can't be mad. And then when I tell people, if you're a Freemason, then you know I'm telling the truth. If you were one of my European colleagues and you were Scottish Rite Mason, you know what I'm talking about because you're a son of a Muslim. You know this. Everyone know this. A person can get on here and be mad and say, well, this hate speech. No, I got professors that's Europeans. They'll tell you they Anglo-Saxon. Not me. So when you take a deeper look at the role of Christ's sacrifices, when I break things down about the Black Lord or Karma, cannabis, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the Messianic or the Messiah allegory behind the Matrix trilogy, the Shishat appendix. I mean, I'm just going to walk around. Remember in the Seven Seals, I showed y'all this. If I have my Seven Seals book, let me see. Let me see, do I got Seven Seals over here somewhere? I can't pull too much out because I'm telling you, I got too much going on. I'm not finna read church. It's taking me too long. But I show y'all the Seven Seals wisdom when these people be know what I'm talking about. You can't be afraid of nothing. When they come, let me tell y'all something that I know. Alice Crowley, Adam Blavinsky, Pascal Beverly Randolph, especially when you hear people on TikTok, we talk about Noble Drew Ali learned from Adam Blavatsky. I'm going to tell you to prove it. You ain't going to be able to prove it. I'm going to show you that all those European sages were taught by Sufis, by Islamic Sufis, and they traveled to the East. These is facts. When you come with the games, I'm going to show you. And then they'll tell you in their autobiographies, which most people don't have, what I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And a lot of stuff, what I'm telling you, if your brother a Mason, he lying to you. I'm telling you. No disrespect. And that's why I say the European is not the joke of Masonry. It's the misnomer black man. Why? Because they'll stand in your face and lie right in front of you. That's what I'm telling you. So when I talk about the so-called in Masonry, when you hear if your auntie is an Eastern Star, they under the DAR, the Daughters of American Revolution, and they ain't no different than the Negro Masons that call themselves Prince Hall Masons. That black is dead. So the women that's under the DAR, they pentagram is turned slightly. It's not standing arm, leg, arm, head. It's standing horns up. It's a whole different structure. They know it, I know it, but they ain't gonna tell you this. You see, I have the keys, and I can come with the rose and the cross, and I can come with my scimitar and illuminate it all, and can't nobody say nothing but stand there and take it. Because if you come with the games, you know it. So then when I'm talking about the so-called 6-point star, you got the 6-point star, you got one piece and the other pointing down. That top part, what you got? Father, Son, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it. That other part, you got what? Mind, spirit, body. In the middle with the top one, and in the bottom one, in the middle, what you got? Man. You put it together as a 6-point star, what you got? Union. But you think it's some stupid-ass star, David. You think, the Jews were the star, David. That's how you're going to recognize that they are Jew. Because they stole some signs and symbols. Nope. The hand of salutation. Nope, you don't know. You just don't know. Just say you don't know. It's a Mayafinticism, or the Ethiopic faith, called the Tewahedo. You remember the Tewahedo faith? When I talk about the Tewahedo faith, union between God and man, when I say in more science, there's nothing outside of ourselves. Anything outside of ourselves is true shirk. I don't have no problem with no Al-Islam Muslim or no Nation of Islam Muslim. Ain't nothing outside of myself. Now leave me the hell alone. You can't talk about nobody else. But you a Sunni Muslim, you a Nation of Islam Muslim. One believe in the Quran and believe in the Allah and believe in fire of Muhammad. The other one say they just read the lessons. And I can show you that the lessons, the red book, is Fugazi too. And then what the first thing that the religious Negroes do is get mad. Man, I don't want to hear it. You can't get mad at me if the European said you ain't gonna do nothing but smile. Well, I'm gonna go get the European that's gonna agree with everything, and then I'll let the European take it way to the other level where I'll take it all away, and then you will say nothing. That's what I'm saying. We be some chumps. That's what I be saying. We be some chumps. Can't deny what I'm saying. So when we look at the deeper role of the so-called Christ, when you're looking at the Gnostic understanding, when I show you a deeper concept, because most of our brothers and sisters don't look with a deeper concept. Why? Because the people that's teaching us don't know. The crucifixion of the cross. 1 Corinthians 5:7. Our Passover is sacrificed for us. You got to understand the etymology of words. You got to understand, uses of words should be viewed biblically and not otherwise confounded or confused with latter Buddhism or Hinduism, theological speculations that have all been superseded by the way of the black Messiah. Christ is his kingly character. Because you know it was always what? See, this is what y'all can always agree with me. You know it was always death of the black Messiah. See, this is what people don't want to tell you. These religious people, what? It was always death of the black Messiah. You can come with the crap if you want to. They always wanted somebody to come look like you, to pop up out the sky and tell you who you are. But then when you look at government documents, you say, "Oh, this ain't no Wajir, or this ain't Fard Muhammad. This ain't Fard Muhammad. Then this ain't Fard Muhammad." Okay, I say screw it all. I say now you playing a deadly game with me. I say screw it all. Let's go to the pictures, and I'll show you well, not only this person that you see some Muslims and some Muslims that was in a time of certain people that they got that same picture and they ain't denying certain things. But then I can show you who these people profess, who Fard Muhammad was, and people he was with, and these people were called crazy in Detroit and in crazy houses, and they were sacrificing women. When you look up, let me tell y'all something. Look up Ugan Ali. I bet you, and then Ugan Ali. Y'all know who Ugan Ali? Let me show y'all who Ugan Ali is. That's Ugan Ali right here, the melanated brother right there next to. That's what they say. That ain't Fard Muhammad. That's okay, whatever. Don't make me no difference. But that's Ugan Ali. So now, if I start going deeper, when you start dealing with family, but they say that ain't Fard Muhammad. Okay, well, if that's Ugan Ali, and Ugan Ali, Fard Muhammad said that he was Allah and all this, and these people was crazy, and they was got caught for sacrificing women, they're going to sacrifice this and that, then what that tell you about this sick SHIT? And this in Detroit. I keep telling y'all, I did a whole lecture on this in high school. That was in November 1932. On the 23rd. That's my daughter's birthday. And they try to say it ain't Fard Muhammad. I say, okay. It says Fire Center shows a book, police detective, while his chief aide, Ugan Ali, sits nearby right. You ain't never heard of him, have you? A lot of y'all ain't never heard of that. When you start doing the research, you'll be like, well, what? You'll start seeing the African American Muslims voodoo, the history of a racial slur. This from Oxford University. When you don't be knowing, people be getting paid. They try to say the white man is the devil, but then a lot of them under Dianetics. I'm telling you. Research in 1932 in Detroit, Michigan, an African American Muslim named Robert Harris killed his tenant on an altar in his home as purported human sacrifice to Allah. In the weeks that followed, as Harris was prosecuted for the murder and ultimately was sent to an insane asylum, newspapers across the country declared that the Detroit home was a voodoo cult, and the black Muslims in the city offered him sacrifices to their gods. Remember something happened to Kareem Jabbar? Remember? This was likely the first. See, this stuff is documented. So when they always want to come with stuff, I say, well, who are these people? So where are they getting their wisdom from? Nobody want to talk about that. I know they don't. But let's proceed. Why do bad things happen to good people? That's the question that we're going to break down. You know? That's what we're going to try to address. The events which are caused by errant choices or conscious evil doings, such as murdering, abuse, lying to our people, in the conscious fake community, in a religious house, lying, in a Masonic halls, lying, cause and effect reversals. For example, why do tsunamis kill innocent people? You may ask that. Why do good people suffer? You may ask that. But according to Scripture, every man is born in sin. That's what the text says. Every man is born in sin. That's what they say. But I get that. But remember, I can always add to stuff. The Scripture says you want the same thing on earth as it is in heaven. So I get it. I get what you're saying. Therefore, just as sin entered the world through a man, and death through sin, and in this way death came to all men because all sinned. Therefore, the Christian view is that none deserves a perfectly good faith. In a sense, Paul's classic Christian view is not very fair. What do I or you care if someone very distant relative chose to disobey God? The question just changes to why do I have to suffer via an injustice that happened thousands of years ago? The above in my mind can have only two reasonable explanations. Genetic code transmits some or all combined traits from parents to children. The validity of two for the phenotype has been established scientifically. For personality traits, things are not so clear. Like physical traits such as long nose, rigid chin, can be varied through biology by tracing the appropriate genes. Personality traits are a function of many different factors, perhaps including genes, but also definitely the way a child has been conditioned. When we talk about hate and brought up as such, biological inheritance cannot account by itself as the only explanation for our misfortunes, as one in the presentment or in the understanding of the original sin, except tangentially, via the introduction or being introduced to death in our species. So I will not address the question of death, except to mention that according to the scripture, it gained interest into human life. Genes, could it? Via the original sin. I don't know, you tell me. As Romans 5:12 state, what do it say? What I want to show is the general form, which is quite distinct from death. Death is one thing, unfair, bad fortune another. Since biological inheritance cannot account sufficiently for bad fortune and unfair events in life, something else must be in this, how can I say it? Something must play. Something must be in this. Something external. For one possible scenario, an external influential factor. Mistakes, errors, etc. So let's deal with it. We know the abusive behavior in children tends to propagate to new generations. We know karma may be the only possible explanation for global and local bad fortune. Because of original sin, all new humans start with a dose of bad karma. Why? Romans 5:12. Therefore, just as sin entered the world through one man and death through sin, and in this way death came to all men because all sinned. I'm not giving it all, I'm jumping through it because I don't have too much time. It'll take me too long to go through all this. But if you come to school and be a student, you don't have to be a member and support our temple and school with small donations. I can give you a tax exempt receipt and you can see our brick and mortar. You can see the work that you can be a part of. And I can give you a tax exempt receipt and you can hold me accountable. It's just what it is, you know? And I ain't saying I disagree and all that. I don't want to stay too far in it because I want to get to a certain level of understanding. I challenge you to don't listen to me. I challenge you to get into the know and research. But the cannabis, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Watch. I can give so many biblical scriptures, which I've been doing, but it'll take too long. I can give a couple specific topics in this demonstration. The tree of knowledge of good and evil as an allegory for cannabis and choice with regard to the union with the universal mind. The memory problem and the degeneration of the Holy Communion into a rite with wine. Christ as the cannabis experience. Jesus as the Christ cannabis experience incarnated. Jesus Christ as the functional systemic anomaly or singularity of creation, the fundamental systemic anomaly and imperfection death, the fundamental systemic anomaly of the reference point of everything. I mean, it's too many chapters. You got like 25, but I'll just give a little preface as we walk around a little bit, you know, to give you a little knowledge, to move the veil of religious dogma and hate, because that's what religious people do and don't even know it all come from a source. That's the thing, how we'll never be community. Why? Because our people are lost due to a lack of knowledge. And you got a lot of brothers and sisters that have been Freemasons in your neighborhood right now and act like they got some secret. I bet you they ain't gonna have a conversation with me. I bet you I can put the light out, and that's from love. Because if you have something so good, you would bring it to your people. And I'm telling you, you don't have nothing. No disrespect, the Greek is a fraud. Just like Steve Coakley said, the Greek is a fraud. If you join in anything and you a melanated brother and you don't know who you are, and you profess and you jumping around in a skirt, and you wear your fez and clandestine, if you're a Greek fraternity and you don't know who you are, that's sad. I can give you books by George G.M. James called Stolen Legacy. You know? But we tempting a metaphysical reconciliation between cannabis and the obvious interpretation of the Bible, an interpretation which seems to have been entirely missed by the Bible scholars. By the end of the article, and I might not go all the way in because I got to get out of here, but I've lectured this. I've lectured this in front of thousands of people, and I'm coming here and give it back. When I lectured this to college students, they already asked a demonstration. People donated $45, $50 to come hear me. People bought my books. And then I gave a lot. When I went back home, I gave a lot to organizations. This is what I'm telling us. I know I have something. And I don't be charging. When my lectures on the college campus used to be packed. This is what I'm telling us. We should be sharing this. People should be hitting me up, getting my library like, man, because the stuff I'm showing you, you're not going to pay the thousands of dollars for the stuff. And ain't nobody going to share it with you like that. Why? Because they're going to want to be a gatekeeper. That's why. It should be obvious that the Bible story is nothing more than a historical depiction of cannabis use throughout the ages. I can show you this if you're not seeing this other aspect. I'm not saying the whole thing, interpretation, my personal experience. I'm not doing that. But some readers claim that the idea that cannabis is the tree of knowledge of good and evil is ridiculous. These people fail to see that cannabis is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It is not a statement of condemnation, rather a statement of responsibility. Yes, the tree was forbidden then. No, it's not now. Christ's sacrifice absolved the corresponding sin of consuming it now. That's the miracle of it. That the very existence of the tree in our world now is the sacrifice which saves us from the sin of consuming it. Therefore now, use is allowed. Stay in context. Stay in context. Stay in context. I'm giving you consciousness. Please be advised. Tread lightly. I want you to know this. The word God in this context will always be used loosely. You can say it means the system of things, the mother nature, the universe, the universal mind, matrix, grand architect, whatever. The phrase Christ refers to the mind consciousness of this experience as a heightened awareness. Whether you believe in the physical existence of Jesus of Nazareth is material to the interpretation of what I'm giving you. But in this wisdom, you know, the author is using the Christ to denote the firstborn of God, the first and oldest consciousness in existence. The tree of knowledge of good and evil as an allegory for cannabis. If the Bible is written in analogy, parable, and symbology, and you say, yeah, and then I say, well, analogy, give me the metaphors. And when I break them down, you don't know what I'm talking about. Then you need to go have a seat. You need to go have a seat. Cannabis is the plant that God warned humans not to eat from in the Garden of Eden, Genesis 2:16 and 17. And the Lord God commanded the man, you are free to eat from the tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. For when you eat of it, you will surely die. Why this analogy? Because they didn't die right then, did they? If they didn't die right then when they ate from it, you got to know it's an analogy. You can't be that stupid. Come on, somebody talk to me. Ain't nobody died in the physical? Yeah. Nobody died, right? Why this analogy? Why was cannabis the tree of knowledge of good and evil? and not the tree of life, for example? Well, God himself declares after the fall in Genesis 3 and 22, right? You remember Genesis 3 and 22? For all my Christians, that I know most brothers ain't read nothing, they be just like the imams or the brothers. What? You reciting something, you don't know how to read. Here go the other set. Here go, this not the seven, one, this is a different seven seals. The seven seals I showed y'all got the horse, with the seven like chakras on it. Like, this is another one. I'm telling y'all, man. And so when I have these lectures, when I have these speakings, I have everything on my database, everything I did at universities and people's special houses. But read it. The man has now become like one of us, knowing good and evil. He must not be allowed to reach out his hand to take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. The previous passage implies immediately that whatever it was Adam and Eve ate from was not the tree of life, for it was man would become, by the words of God himself, above, immortal, and live forever. After eating from the plant, not only man did not become immortal, he instead started dying, right? Because according to Genesis 3 and 19, until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken, for dust you are in, to dust you will return. Now, hear these people talk about they believe in the Bible, they teaching the Bible, they talk about they finna go to heaven and see their grandmama when they die. And when I die, I'm gonna see Big Mama, and you gonna see Big Mama, and I'm telling you, you a lie, and ain't no truth in you, because according to the Bible, in Genesis, chapter 3, verse 19, can you read it for me and tell me, what the Bible say? Until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken. From dust you are, and to dust you will return. I ain't hear nothing say you finna go to heaven and see no Big Mama. Or you finna go to hell and burn up. Miss me, man. Miss me. Since there were only two important plants in the garden, right? It was only two. What was the two important plants in the garden? It was only two. If anybody come with some other stuff, they lying. What was that? The tree of knowledge of good and evil, and what? The tree of life, right? It only could be two. And cannabis is what? Is one of the naturally important plants. Cannabis must have been the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It had to be. The underlying metaphor. Now we're dealing with metaphor. I'll give you an analogy. When you got the Islamic Muslims or those Arab pale Muslims or even the Negro Muslims that say, okay, when your Bible said if I smack you, you should turn the other cheek and do that. What you mean about that? Okay, if you smack me, I'm going to bust you in the mouth. That's what it mean to me. That's a metaphor. It ain't saying that you didn't let somebody hit and smack you. You just let them. And they always want to come with violence. That's a metaphor. This is why I be telling you these Negroes be coming with a lack of knowledge. They only can come with the stupidity. They only can come with the stupidity. That's a metaphor. If you smack me, I'm going to punch you in your mouth. I just told you. And by who say you can do that? My God. That's why. But the metaphor is that to those who are unaware of the more spiritual truth behind enlightenment and to those bound by the material worldly system, cannabis is a dangerous plant because it causes mind alterations, which force the consumer to question the deep nature of things via what? Deep insights, including law, order, and the very foundations of the system itself. That's how you see all these Negroes go crazy. You be seeing they be in a conscious community, they be all living in the jungle, and then they be thinking I'm gonna take this to manifest some DMT. I just told you what happened. They go crazy. When I talk about the silicomacy and you ain't ready for it, and I done been around young nobles and they come around me and try to think they finna read a book and it consumed them, and I told them it wasn't gonna consume them. Messed their old self up, got a whole bunch of babies that's out in the world stupid as hell. Cause you think you smart. No, this stuff ain't to be telling nobody, this stuff is for you. When people question such things, usually anarchy occurs and the later is far from the desirable. While the connection is somewhat obvious, several people, including Christians who study the Bible, usually do not acknowledge it. This probably stems from the fact that most people interpret literally God's warning as an explicit prohibition. This warning
is the ancient Hebrews' effort to screen the unworthy ones from the profound insights that cannabis provides. Cannabis qualifies as a tree of knowledge of good and evil, and consuming it qualifies as a holy communion, precisely because it inherently tied to two key notions, which are related in its consumption. Choice, stay in context, choice with regard to wanting to experience the truth and revelation of the truth. These two notions will be analyzed further in this wisdom. I might not get enough time, I might not get there. That's why when I be telling us, come to class, hit me up, I have a full library. I'm almost there. Cannabis and choice with regard to union with the universal mind. Cannabis allows an individual mind to get a glimpse of the universal mind. In the sense, consumption of cannabis carries with it the inherited notion of a major choice, exactly like the Matrix allegory. Remember, in a sense, people who have chosen to consume cannabis have exercised their freedom of choice by making this choice. Just like under our religious laws, when I say we ain't for or against, we have the choice to say we ain't taking it. Why? Because our religious laws trump it. That's what I keep telling you. All you can do is say, yep, Sheik right, I know. In order to experience the truth, similar to how Neo chose the red pill. So from them, it's pretty much over. Like in the Matrix, we are here to understand why we made this choice. While intoxicated several notions, remember I came from this perspective too. Now, if I came from this perspective and it's called stacks, and I'm talking about something else, then that means I think Sheik is talking about some form of application, and he not even gave a conclusion, because the conclusion is some applicable that you can see. That's why you have to be part of something, because you can get what I said and get both books and still be Hansel and Gretel or caught up to your neck, because that's what happened when brothers don't want sound wisdom and they don't understand the science that we under. That'd be the problem with most individuals. But the inherent or difficulty to understand became highly clarified. In fact, the clarification of such notions is so intense that one would tend to classify cannabis as a revelatory and sacred plant, mainly because of its ability to expand the horizon of the mind. The effects of intoxication are reported to be subjective, but whatever the case may be, cannabis seems to have the mind to expand until it reaches God. This subjective feeling of reaching God can be found exactly in the serpent's quote in the passage, Genesis 3 and 4. You will not surely die. The serpent said to the woman, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Under intoxication, the ego, or shall we call it the seat of consciousness, wants to experience what it's like to be God. This is, of course, a highly dangerous event. Just like when I talk about the chemical key to black greatness, melanin, and why a lot of people are attached to what? Certain things. I'm telling y'all the keys is right here. That's why I say they study us to a T. If my college people bought this for me for hundreds of dollars, and I'll be offering this for pennies of the dollar, it's nothing hidden from y'all. I'm their teacher. I'm 99 degrees. I'm not 32 and 33 degrees. It ain't nothing secret with me. It's sacred. This ain't no snowman wisdom with you. Come one, come all. I bet you can't nobody deny what I'm saying. Resembling a runaway train, the self, while intoxicated, gets drunk with the ideal of Godhead and wants to linger in it as long as possible. Remember I told you all about what? Being intoxicated? The true what? Science of alcoholism from IDMR? I told y'all. I break it down in both ways. Y'all know that. The truth been here right in your face. Knowing good and evil to a certain extent becomes true under the influence of cannabis. Plainly put, the free association which takes place in one's mind while intoxicated bear extreme resemblance to one suddenly having a deep revelatory experience about the truth. I call it the aha moment, the light bulb moment. Y'all got to be rocking with me, the illumination. This is the rose and the cross coming to you right now. It is exactly this truth which is spoken of where? In your Bible, in John 8 and 32. Then you will know what? The truth, and the truth will set you free. The memory problem and the degeneration of the Holy Communion into a rite with wine. Stay in context. Stay in context. Don't go outside the context. Stay in context. What Christians call the Holy Sacrament, the Eucharist, is but a remote memory remnant of the rite that the very first enlightened ones remembered. Remember in the biblical scripture when they went in the tent and they burned the incense? Or you think they would just burn the incense? What you think they was doing? Okay. It was only for the high priest. This is related to the memory problem, analyzed elsewhere. Unfortunately, because of this memory problem and because of other obvious reasons, the Holy Sacrament has degenerated into the entirely different practice, having nothing whatsoever to do with the true meaning of what a Holy Sacrament was. It is only natural that modern churches have distanced themselves from cannabis since the awareness cannabis provides. I'm just giving up the science. Eventually gives one's insight, which goes contrary to established laws, religious, state, or otherwise. Cannabis causes the mind to be associated with a peaceful sensation of belonging to the entire universe, with obvious insight into the hows and the whys things work in our world. This naturally opposes the purpose of the rich and the powerful, including those who sit on top of official churches. So it has to be outlawed because it promotes the very mindset. Therefore, most Christian churches to date have lost the true meaning of the communion and have substituted it for wine. As a result, it appears no official church holds the actual true teachings of Christianity anymore. Christ as the cannabis experience. In a literal interpretation of Genesis, the Christ, the serpent, is the cannabis experience as an idea. The experience itself manifests initially as the serpent of wisdom, exactly as the one character manifests initially in the Matrix scenario. According to Morpheus, who when the Matrix was first made, had the ability to change the Matrix at will. Again, according to Morpheus, he was the one who freed the first one of us. In the Gnostic dogma, the one who freed us from the bond of God was the serpent of wisdom. In the Gnostic, I'm telling y'all, I'm somewhere. And the interesting that allowing it's a diagram of the names of God from the Athanasius, Kirchhoff, Opodius, Augustius, 1652 to 54. Write this down. It's an interesting that it's a diagram. It's called the Athanasius. The other name is Kirchers. The other name is Odipus. The other name is Egyptiacus. 1652 and 54. And when I show people all this, you still ain't looked it up. You still ain't, and people still ain't looked up. The wheel in the wheel, up in the middle of the yeah, the big wheel about that. You know how they be saying. It looks like a huge plant. It looks like a huge plant. Look at this. Look at the symbology. It looks like a huge plant. We're gonna keep talking. We're gonna keep going. Look these things up because we're on good time. If you like to teach us, let me know. If you like to teach us, talk to me, man. Y'all talk to your brother. In the words of Jesus Christ, Yahshua the Messiah, what John 14:6 said, Jesus answered, I am the way, the truth, the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Literally, no one can attain perfect understanding about the system unless one experiences cannabis. This is what they say. This is what my Rastafarians say. But I don't believe that. Why? Because my brother Malik been shown the keys. When you are mapping a guy, I can show you how to get this way without having to take this. That's how a map on a guy can show you. I can show you how to activate what? That DMT, that spirit molecule. I can show you how to break down that shot in the hieroglyphics without taking that. Why? Because it's all in you. Some people need activation. I show that too. A map on a guy leads the way. I told you, some tools are what? Too dangerous for a pup to use. That's why I don't break the two. That's why I don't talk about things. How? Because when I see a person, especially when they talk on the internet, I know their angle. And I know some things that I'll go all the way where you would destroy yourself. I know this for a fact. How? Because I be seeing people angles. I be seeing how they talk. And if you're a young noble, all I got to do is ask people around you your everyday life, and they tell me about you. In terms of the Bible, John 6:46, no one has seen the Father except what? The one who is from God. Only he has seen the Father. But the Bible says nobody has seen God, didn't they? But then the Bible says you talk to man, God face to face. Literally, no one knows perfectly or can describe accurately the Father's system. or the father or the system, except what? The cannabis experience itself. When I talk about when people try to belittle me and talk about he just a Shriner, he just a master mason. No, fool, you just mad because I am the shrine. Your daddy know I'm the shrine. I bet you your daddy that's a Freemason. That's a Scott. That's a Prince Hall Mason. I bet you your daddy won't disrespect me. I bet you that because he know. I bet you no European won't disrespect me. That's a Scottish Rite Mason because they a son of a Muslim. I bet you that. I bet you that. I bet you the European Mason pay homage. The Jews too. In other words, Christ is that which allows man to come close to God, but so is cannabis. Christ then literally translated is the cannabis experience. The cannabis experience is he, she, it, who has overall viewings of things, metaphysically or spiritually. It is exactly this overall view of things, which is the root of the Greek word theos. You know that. Literally, the overseer. I am the theos. It's also interesting that in Slack parlance, the THEOS, the OS, literally reads like operating system. Modern churches, for example, consider Christ to be what? One of the faces of God, according to the Bible, which, they don't read the Bible. John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word, okay, and the Word was with God, okay, and the Word was God. Well, there you have it. This also is the meaning of the enigmatic Flammarian woodcut by an unknown artist. It's referred to as the Flammarian woodcut because its first documented appearance is in page 163 of Camille Flammarin's L'Atmosphère, Meteorology, Populaire in Paris in 1888. In 1888, y'all. 1888. You hear me? I hope y'all hear what I'm saying. Well, I'm sorry. Somebody just ordered another book. See, this is what I'll be saying when I be talking real time, and I'll be saying that a lot of my people be missing it. And somebody was like, "Yeah, I need that melanin anti-Russian icon." He's like, "I'm sending 200 for each. Can you print them?" Yep, I will. Gratitude. I'm sorry, y'all, but this is what I'll be telling y'all. He was like, "Man, there's no problem." He was like, "Man, you ain't even got to say it twice." He was like, "People not listening to you, but I am." He like, "I'm listening, she." Islam. What he said? He said your son go to Arizona State and he taking African American studies. This finna blow his mind and his teacher's mind. Just gratitude, 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 gratitude. He keeps saying gratitude, 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 gratitude. Gratitude. I told y'all, when people know what this is about and they know it, and I say you got kids in school, you ain't introducing them to me. You have a mission, or you a preacher, you a teacher, you finna talk all this slave history, and you ain't finna bring me to come teach to your schools or your churches. You ain't finna bring me in as a lecturer. Like, are you crazy? You gotta be crazy. You gotta be crazy. You ain't bringing people together like, man, we're gonna put a donation and come have this brother speak at our church, or we're gonna rent this conference hall and have this brother come speak. When I went to visit my mufti in Florida, when we were going to Miami Beach, when I be telling people, I know what be happening when I said look within a conference center and see who having conference. It's the Mexicans having class. They were Jehovah's Witnesses, and I say we can do this. We can do this. The information must be spread. But if people not willing to put a couple dollars as a donation, I give everybody a tax and receipt. Nobody gonna get it. Nobody gonna get it. We're gonna keep saying something hidden. We're gonna keep saying, oh, something is hidden. And I say, ain't nothing hidden. I'm right here. You know? Ain't nothing hidden, brothers and sisters. That's what I'm telling us. It's nothing hidden. But the woodcut depicts a man peering through the starry sky, as if it were a curtain to look at the inner workings of the universe. When you look at the picture, when you look at the original pictures, everything I tell you, research it. And then I have all the books, I have all the documents. This what I'll be telling my brothers and sisters, to be like, come on, y'all. What do you say? I'm sorry, I'm doing two things at one time. I have to, because this business. Okay. Yeah, I'm about to be done in a minute. But the original caption below the picture reads, "A medieval missionary tells that he has found the point where heaven and earth meet." And then you got to know something interesting about a wheel on the upper left and compare it with Ezekiel 1 and 15. When you compare that to Ezekiel 1 and 15, you know what you get. As I looked at the living creatures, I saw a wheel on the ground beside each creature with its four faces. This was the appearance and structure of the wheels. They sparkled like crystal light, and all four looked alike. Each appeared to be like a wheel, interesting a wheel. Each seemed to be like a wheel, intersecting a wheel. As they moved, they would go any one of the four directions the creature's face. The wheels did not turn about as the creatures went. Their rims were high and awesome. All four rims were full of eyes all around. The entire Bible seems to be annals of the cannabis experience. Hear Moses at the Burning Bush by Nicholas Formont from a 1476 major commission from Reni I of Naples of the cathedral at Axi in Provence, which shows the appropriation in the burning bush as blessed virgin in a bower of flaming roses. And you can see this stuff. You can see the stuff. I got the pictures. Got the book. Exodus 3 and 2. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him in flames of fire from within a bush. From within a bush, Moses saw that though the bush was not on fire, it did not burn up. The burning bush was nothing but a metaphor for burning cannabis. I'm just letting you know when I'm talking to my Rastafarian brothers and everybody that's want to just diss things. Think about things, which allows communion with the angel of the Lord. This is also meaning of the wedding at Cana. John 2 and 1. On the third day, a wedding took place at Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. John 2 and 11. This the first of his miraculous signs Jesus performed in Cana of Galilee. He thus revealed his glory, and his disciples put their faith in him. What is Cana? It is exactly what the reader expects. It's a clear acronym for the cannabis, the CANEH-BOSM, or cannabis, the anointing oil of Moses. The anointing oil of Moses. That was the oil that anointed was anointing them with. Cannabis. You know the oil when you get hurt, or they call it what, or that extraction you got to put on your knees. Cannabis oil. THC. When I say you can drink it, mix it in teas and things. You can get mad at me if you want to. The first miracle of Jesus is made with canna or with cannabis. The story is simple. It's an allegory of the wedding or the union of man and God with the help of the Christ cannabis. The Old Testament prophecies and the prophesied return of the Messiah, the one. And the New Testament assigns this role to who? Jesus of Nazareth as an incarnation of Christ. I'm just painting a pictorial. The Bible experience goes back thousands of years, and the Bible literates seem to have lost the true meaning of who Christ was. Today, people belong to two groups, believers in Jesus and non-believers. You know, the Jehovah's Witnesses, what do they believe in? They had talked some whole crazy stuff, but I got your book too, so don't say nothing. The dichotomy, or the dichotomy that has resulted is a travesty, because most churches have lost the true identity of who Christ is. Jesus Christ, the cannabis. There is one remaining crucial issue. The New Testament speaks clearly of the man, Jesus Christ. Whether Jesus Christ was a historical person or not is still a debate between atheists and Christians. Although references to Jesus by early secular historians are meager, references outside the Bible do exist. Those of Cornelius Tacitus, Suetonius, Pliny the Younger, and Flavius Josephus. But you know, Flavius Josephus is fake as well. I lecture that in academia. But if Jesus, the man, existed, then there is obvious a strong connection between this man and cannabis. What is the connection? Jesus was the only human who God the Father approved for the role of what? Fulfilling the messianic prophecy. Matthew 17 and 5. And a voice from heaven, or a voice from the cloud said, "This is my son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him. But even before I go on that, don't it get you mad when these religious people, even the so-called Christian and Jehovah Witnesses, even the Muslims, when they talk about some fell down from heaven after some book, well, if that fell down from heaven, why the rest of those books ain't fell down from heaven? They just be coming with stupid stuff. And if Jesus existed, he appeared to have been a human who was continuously dwelling in an enlightened state, similar to the enlightenment the cannabis experience itself provides. The cannabis experience, no matter how strong, is always temporary. Any particular consumer cannot dwell in the experience for more than a few hours. Here then, we have a human who is able to dwell in the enlightened state continuously. And that's what I said. I don't need that. I can stay in the enlightened state continuously. This is what I'm trying to show people. I'm not dissing nothing. I'm saying, yes, people use this DMT, these other molecules, but I can show you how to tap into this without it. It's worth millions. You don't know it. They use it. They just pervert it. And you don't know this. That's why I said they can't say nothing to me. You think everything is scary, but I'm telling you, the ones that you think is heavy, they ain't nothing but my sons and daughters, and they'll tell you this. I'm going to repeat this analogy. The key property of the cannabis experience is temporary enlightenment. What is then that this or man, who can dwell in consciousness, eternal enlightenment, but the very substance cannabis, the plant itself. But how can this be? Jesus was a man. Cannabis is a plant. We are therefore witnessing a structural anomaly or singularity in the natural order of things and in the fabric of space and time. The Christ cannabis experience incarnates as a man, Jesus, who by virtue of an identity as the Spirit of Jesus, the Christ experience is able to stay continuously enlightened. I hope you catching me. I am the source. When the people say you a shrine, no, I am the shrine. I hope you catching me. So in the same context, I am that you have to get out and ingest. Even though I ain't saying nothing wrong when you know what you're doing, when the mind is right, but I am that. I know how to activate it. I know how to activate my pineal. I know how to activate my chakra without going outside of myself. How? It's a practice. I keep telling you. I'm showing you. There's certain foods, there's certain things, there's certain holistic. I'm showing you. And can't no guru, I don't care if they on TikTok, I don't care who they are. I bet you they ain't gonna come with me because everything they trying to sell you, I give it to you for freaking free. That's why a map and a guy can do that. A map and a guy can say, oh, you want to come with the shiggity? I'll come right there, and everything that they selling you, I'll give it to you for free. All the stuff that they trying to make, some Apple or Eve, no respect. I'm just saying, I'm calling out how it is. If it's an ingredient, and I know I'll show you how to make it for free. Now you can give me a love token for showing you how to make it, and then you ain't got to go buy nothing for no $150 or nothing. I'll just break all the bull crap and mess everything up. Because a map and a guide will show you the way. But then you should give homage and understand that a workman is due is higher. That's what I'm telling you. But I ain't got to hustle you. I have product. I have other things. If I say I got the keys to help you live, then people will give me donations to make concoctions. But I ain't just finna sell it and put it out there till you got to make a choice to get this or eat. No, I can show you how to make it yourself. And can't nobody deny what I'm saying. A map and a guide does that. I do that with people individual. I do it with people individual in real life. Then John 1:14 says the word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. The word became flesh. We have seen in his glory, the glory of the one and only, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth. I'm coming with full of grace and truth. I'm coming in my Father's name. I'm not destroying it, I'm fulfilling it. How can I be destroying something if I'm reaching back into what you have and showing you white in your face? I got to be the one. Come on, man. And I'm saying what? The one that's for you, your brother. That's what I'm saying. It's an anomaly and singularity of the creation. A structural singularity. It simply cannot be, yet it is. The structural singularity is the grand architect's systemic anomaly. It is the point where everything meets. The point where everything meets. The first and the last. Remember, in the beginning, the Alpha and Omega. Are y'all catching me? The reference point of all creation, the firstborn of the Creator. John 1 and 3. What does it say? My Christian brothers, through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of man. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness has not understood it. This anomaly has been portrayed in various forms in our culture. Perhaps the most famous portrait are the lithographs. Write this down. I'm walking you through a history. Nobody going to give you this because they can't. And if they do, they're a gatekeeper. And I'm telling you, the Freemasons, especially the ones that's educated like me, they have this. They have it in their library. Because when you go in their Masonic halls, everything I'll be talking about is on a Masonic table. Come to me with the crap. I'm going to blow your light out. Truth has no sides. God, man, don't take no oath. I'm initiated through what? The wisdom. And I initiated my brothers and sisters. Point blank. Take no oath. This is a brotherhood. I ain't no gatekeeper. Ain't nothing secret. I got the keys. I got the keys. You dealing with 99 degrees. Ancient rite of Memphis and Mizraim. 33 times 3. If I wasn't him, I wouldn't tell you. Order of Melchizedek. Point blank. Spirit builder. Point blank. Rose and cross. Point blank. Without a spot and blemish. You mad? So what? I'm going to be here. You're going to be able to see what the Creator allowed us to establish on earth as it is in heaven. But the lithographs of M.C. Isker, the most representative artistic work of this is his famous lithograph. It's called the Print Gallery. In the Print Gallery, the fundamental anomaly is displayed at the center, where the image viewed by the viewer becomes the gallery itself. Remember I told you I am the shrine. Let me say this again. Where the image viewed by the viewer becomes the gallery itself. The same anomaly can be viewed in this animated GIF. Here go a picture I'm talking about, but you'll have to look at it and it'll be the picture in itself when you stare at it. I don't have time to break one down. I'll do it in a later image. But the original image source is Ryan Ripson Designs. Ryan Ipson. And you can research that image. On another famous lithograph, Esker displays the singularity again at the center with the inscription verbum. VERBUM means word. Like when I talk about verbatim, but word, where 6 different universes spawn forth. You see? See that right there? Nobody going to give you this because they want to keep you blind. The presence of this systemic anomaly seems to be responsible for the experience of all sorts of diverse religious ideas and means, whether these take the form of other religious systems or the pseudo-scientific theories of existence. I just showed y'all what the other day? Pseudopigrapha, I showed you it. Attested all fake, saying that you wrote this, all this is fake. Just like when you think the Arabic this and this and they come from something, you can't get mad at me. I spit this right off the dome. I've lectured this a plethora of times. The various religions throughout the world are nothing more than early or later attempts to describe the indescribable nature of this anomaly from the data acquired from the cannabis experience itself through the ages. The nature of the singularity is such precise. I don't even want to stay in that. I'm gonna go to something else because I got a little bit more time and we out. The fundamental systemic anomaly as the reference point. Let me show y'all something. Let me go back a little bit because I think this is important. The true and universal cycle of birth. Yep, I got you, brother. Nah, we good. But the true and universal cycle of birth, growth, and death, right? Growth, birth, and death is nothing more than a mirror image of cannabis. Consciousness and the human mind cannot dwell forever in that experience, right? The truth. So they eventually sober up. Upon sobering up, the data of experiencing is lost. So that's just like somebody teach you how to speak in tongues. You go to church, they showed you how to speak in tongues. How? And then you lost it. Then you lost it. What you got? What you gonna do to get the Holy Spirit again? What you gonna do? Somebody gonna teach you how to speak in tongues? Some mumbo jumbo? The Bible says that if there's nobody to interpret that BS you saying, shut your mouth. Upon sobering up, the ideal experience is lost. The systemic anomaly is the boundary between sanity and insanity. And that's what I be telling. I say these people is insane. And they know it. They insane. And they know it. They insane. Matthew 24. It tell you about the 7 seals. But then break it down, Sheik. I've been breaking it down all week. I've been breaking it down all week. You know? Right? I know we have. I know we have. I know we have. That's why nobody can deny it. Nobody can deny it. You have to look at your own brothers and sisters. Like the fundamental, this system. I can even show y'all mathematical equations. Look, let me show y'all something. I'll break that down later. But look, you see this pinpoint, you see this diagram? You see what you're looking at? A lot of us that know this already be like, damn man, why you showing that? Because I'm showing you some things. I just want you to see. It's so much I can show, but I want you to come to class. Any mathematical function that requires study must always be mapped relative to the origin of the axis. Just like when you hear these stupid so-called grand sheiks and they don't know the compass and the square, or they don't know that the circle and the square and the square is the hex alpha, the graduation cap, and the fez, the so-called circle, both have 360 degrees, especially if you know how to use your compass and your square. But most of these people don't. But any functional operation that requires practical manifestation in our universe requires first a reference to what? Mathematical coordinate system the mathematician uses in order for its purpose to become clear. Remember I told y'all that? Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. I told y'all that. So when I say this stuff, when I start using my compass and square, when I start using my scimitar to cut all the stupid stuff, all the naughty stuff out the way, you gotta rock with me. And just be illuminated, because it's right here. Because if not, if these people say they're educated and they got degrees that I have and higher degrees, and they say they some Gnostics, and they say they some Grand Poobah, and they say they some Masons, and they got all these signs and symbols on, all I'm telling you is all what they know is snowman wisdom. That's all they know. And I'm telling you, that's all you gonna know. And it's not a coincidence that the Christians have chosen that the cross as their symbol. That's why they use the cross as their symbol. Because the cross represents exactly that which is the origin of all things. I just told y'all, the center, the source of all subsequent calculations. Remember I showed y'all that. As a result of this singularity, let's use a rubber band per se. Or let's use like when they talk about the fish or the 8. It being present in the order of things. Most of us use Jesus' official birthday as a reference point in time. This reference point, the theoretical 0 point in time, gets naturally mapped out. The origin, O or 0, O of the mathematical coordinate, what? Axis, X and Y. Now if you caught that, you did. If you didn't catch that, that's your fault. I just broke down the tree of knowledge of good. You didn't catch that. If you caught that, I hope so. But if you didn't catch that, that's your fault. I pretty much broke everything down I'm talking about with that little bitty piece right there. Now let me go back to what I'm saying when I talk about that point, that mathematical equation. When I talk about the origin of what? Axis, X and Y. When I said the fundamental operation requires practical manifestation in our universe, requires first reference to the mathematical coordinate system that mathematicians use in order for its purpose to become clear. So didn't I say it's not a coincidence that Christians have chosen the cross as a symbol because the cross represents exactly that which is the origin of all things in this context? I know what other context what they used it for death chain. I get that, but stay in context. The source of all subsequent calculations. The mathematical coordinate system. The four directions, north, south, east, west. The four elements of the ancient Greeks, or chemetics, connotated as hermetic. Air, water, earth, fire. The four creatures sitting near the throne of God. Ezekiel 1:15. As I look at the living creatures, I saw a wheel on the ground beside each creature with its four faces. This was the appearance of the structure of the wheels. They sparkle like crystallite, and all four look alike. Each appeared to be made like a wheel, intersecting a wheel. And in Revelations 5 and 6, then I saw a lamb, looking as if it had been slain, standing in the center of the throne, encircled by the four living creatures and the elders. Don't y'all know what that is? That's the clock of destiny. That's the astrological signs. I'm telling you, that's constellations. That's a whole nother story. That's why they want to keep y'all away from it, because they don't want y'all to know what's above is below. I'm teaching you this. I am him. I'm 99 degrees. I'm coming to give you the keys. Brothers, come share what I'm giving y'all. Let's build this physical temple. We can. I'm telling you. I have a gift. If I didn't say I have a gift, I wouldn't tell you. Christianity identifies the four creatures with the four gospels of the New Testament. See how they do it? Because everything inside they break down outside. This is just the generality. This is just the esoteric meaning. The generalities. I'll give you the SO and XO. The ones of the way, my close companions, my Jacobites per se. You get this when you come to class and you be a student. You give donations. You get this in private teachings. I build your library up. Why? Because it's your mother. That's when I become your sheep. That's when you become a student. How? When it becomes personal. Revelation 5 or 6. Then I saw the Lamb, looking at if it had been slain. Remember that? You know, Christianity identifies this with the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The four narratives of what? Ministry of the cannabis experience made flesh. Remember, and the Word was made flesh. Jesus Christ, the four narratives trying to describe the indescribable, the Alpha and the Omega, in the terms a layman can understand, or in the terms an uninitiated can understand. When I say I can make it easy as a child can understand, that's Bible. Cannabis as the body of Jesus is singularity in the physical sense, because in its nature is dual. On the one hand, it is a plain earthly plant, and on the other hand, it is verdum, or word of God. Under what? When you get intoxicated. It's ironically funny in a sense. The greatest secrets of all creation is hidden neither in metaphysics nor in science, philosophy, or in any other deep and profound human endeavor. Where it's at? Where it's at? Where it's at? Y'all know where it's at? Can anybody tell me where it's at? And if anybody say it, I bet you one of my muftis answer it. I told y'all how everything is. When everybody be saying something is hidden, how can it be hidden? And I have the keys. It ain't hidden in this. This is what I be telling students when they be like, oh, this. No, y'all know where it's at? Where it's at? It's hidden right in plain sight. It's right in front of you. And when I start revealing things, they be like, well, you got it right. It's revealed right in plain sight. You missing it. Giving gratitude and beautifully. It's the plant. It's the life. It's like a cosmic joke of sorts, pointing at the stupidity of humans. That's why I said the joke is on you. It's like a Scooby-Doo. John 1 and 10. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him. That's like when I be telling y'all, my people don't recognize me. A prophet and an angel is supposed to come from amongst his or her own people. That's why I say the white man can be the devil when people say that. How? Because if I'm dealing with Europeans out here in Arizona, Albion's Trelodite, and they accept me as God and Melchizedek, then I'm telling you my own people don't know me. That's what I'm telling you. And my people are lost. They reject their own brother. And then when they talk about the white man, they put him as the devil, but then they only respect their brother that look like them as a God. Because they don't recognize me. But the other man do. How can the other man recognize me? And I look like y'all. I've been talking like this. And the other man respect me talking like this. And they pay homage. And they get all my books. And I lecture. And they give donations. What is we talking about? And I do everything I'm going to say. What's wrong with me asking for things to build? Because other people done it, have lied, forget them. They ain't messed nothing up for us. We don't deal with them. I told you that stuff fugazi from day one. I'ma still be here. I told you all that stuff for us was fugazi from day one. I told everybody that. All that conscious community stuff. All that Black Wall Street. All that Bitcoin. I told you they can't come on my page. All that they got this never farms and 400 acres. I told y'all it's all fake. And we still right here. So the term fundamental systemic anomaly may seem somewhat misleading. You know? That's what I want us to be knowing about. The term rather refers to the inevitability of its singularity emerging in all possible universes. Remember, the metaphor given in the Grand Architect's speech to Neo was quite accurate analogy, right? The emergence of the systemic anomaly was inevitable and appeared in all versions of the Matrix. In a sense, in any universe, the universal mind designs the fundamental anomaly. Is the first thing to emerge. Y'all gotta know this. The above emerge is the first manifestation of the universal mind, if you will, inside its own creation, the firstborn of God. Remember Galatians 1:15. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For by him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth. Things in heaven and on earth. So we don't talk about the constellations, but he just said he named all things in heaven and earth. You don't want to know what's above is below? Why you think they teaching you that? Why you think the Masons and your preacher teaching you not to know this? Because it's science in this, and they don't want you to be free. I do. Visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities, all things were created by him and for him, because all things were created by the firstborn. The Christ is often associated with the word of God, or God's commanding voice. The characterization, God's word, inevitably came from the fact that under intoxication, the universal mind communicates the truth of the Christ, and the universal mind itself to the partaker of cannabis directly to indirectly. So I got to get out of here, man. I want to just show you a couple other things that we out of here. Because I've been going. And I can go all day, but it'll take so much time. I challenge y'all to come to class. Thank y'all, brothers, that where you say you go to the University of Arizona for purchasing them books for me. He said, would I hold them up before I leave? Yes, I will. I end this right here. With your own eyes. Look with your own eyes. Research what that means. Research that understanding. When you let these people that's be coming with lies because they come from a lack of understanding. Because they come from hate. That's a lack of understanding. A lack of understanding. That's what our people have. The above it's a redrawing from an artist, Egyptian hieroglyph, purposing, distinguishing the true indigenous African and Ethiopian features of the primordial people. Just like Albert Churchward wrote, signs and symbols of the primordial man. Albert Churchward wrote a lot of different books. I got them all. This is what I be telling y'all. First century European writers didn't have a problem telling the truth like I'm doing. But however, in this picture, it should be paid other elements that have been preserved nevertheless. The Shishat appendix, the true image of the primitive Afro-Shemitic people, including Hebrews, will be clearly seen demonstrated by the fact carved into living stone, bearing witness to the ancient mysteries of the Egyptians and the Hebrew Bible. Because Egypt had two full-blooded Hebrew pharaohs, Sibatos and Shabatos. Let me show you some stuff. Let me show y'all some stuff. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Where people just be talking and they don't be knowing because they just called it the spookism because we coming from a Eurocentric and Negrocentric perspective. Because you don't know about your spirit molecule. The Shishat is the feminine. Well, that's what when I talk about the Baphomet, Kabbalistically speaking, Tempo Abba, the Baphomet. Shishat is the feminine consort, the counterpart, the wife, the child thought, the scribe, he who wrote the story, the program of humanity's journey through time. She is a magician, as is Isis, Thot, Hermes. Shishat bore the title Egyptian fairy godmother. Her magic wand, with its 7 pointed stars, was the symbol which represented the source of all creative ideas, consciousness. Are y'all rocking with me? I just told y'all. They better stop playing because we can remove. Damn. I didn't mean to do it this many times. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Apologies. I gotta do this because I did not mean to. Apologies. Whoa. But I know he happy I sent it that many times. So what just happened, y'all? I sent 2 copies of 2 books. Remember, I always share everything with everybody because I'm not a gatekeeper. I would never do that. I would never get caught up doing that and hide things from my people. But a workman is due his hire. So I will show one of the 7 seals I was talking about this book. You know, that's the other one. Hold on, y'all. Hello? Hey, man, what's up? Yeah, I'll be there Thursday morning. 7 in the morning. Yeah, I think Julia's gonna pick me up. I just talked to him. I think he'll pick me up from the airport. But if not, I'll catch an Uber from from the airport to his crib. I ain't gonna need to. I probably ain't gonna need to because Dad said he'll probably come or whatever. What? Yeah, probably so. Yeah, probably so. Okay, well, whatever. Last time I did it was like 89 or whatever. But yeah, I'll be able to handle it. I'll be able to handle it. Well, let me call you back because I'm talking. Okay. All right. Bye. Sorry about that, y'all. My people be all on me making sure I be traveling, going to all these places. Well, make sure you do this. I'll be good. But they be like, well, don't. And then a lot of my family be like, don't turn down help. But I'll be like, hey, it's good. I got a driver. Then I know a guy that drive, but it's all good. But anyway, her powers, of course, and effect for any affection were legendary before the founding of ancient Egypt, the first colony of the primordial Ethiopia. Remember the Garden of Eden, Genesis 2 and 13, the pyramid text. I told y'all all this stuff. You got to be honest. If Moses was all learned in the Egyptian history, then you got to know this. I deal with the pyramid text. I deal with all the coffin text. I deal with it all. Reference the Sheshat, but the pyramid text it referenced the Sheshat as the female scribe and the lady of the house. So I want to stay all into that. You see the tree of life? I got to get out of here. Got to get ready. I get a little bit of that. Osiris and Seth. According to one tradition, she was also the mother of Anubis by Osiris. Her principal sanctuary was Heliophis, the city of the sun, in the Hebrew Bible known as Beth Shemesh, and a place called On, along with Isis. She was one of the gardens of the corpse of Osiris, depicted in human form, wearing a crown in the form of the hieroglyph for house, sometimes depicted as a kite guarding the funeral barrier of Osiris. No temple has ever been found in her name, but in the temple constructed during Hatshepsut's reign, Queen Hatshepsut is shown directing Thoth to speak to Sheshat to get the answers to his questions. On the slab, the stela of Prince Wipenifrit from the 4th dynasty, he is mentioned as the overseer of the royal scribe, priest of Sheshat. Supposedly, at a later time, the priest of Thoth took over the priest of Sheshat. See? Right there. I'm telling you, man. So, let me show y'all something else. Sheshat was the essence of cosmic intuition, creating the geometry of the heavens alongside Thoth. In the Egyptian mythology, Sheshat was originally the deification of the concept of wisdom, and so became a goddess of writing, astronomy, astrology, architecture, and mathematics. You see? You see? So, I don't know. Remember, that's duality. Remember, as reality is based on duality. So you seeing what I'm showing you in your face, you seeing duality. Stay with me. One could consider Sheshat the feminine aspect of Thoth, Remember the Baphomet? Temp Hobes has Abba, the female part. Remember I told you don't have to 720, 360, 360? The Egyptians believed that she invented writing, while Thoth taught writing to mankind. So if you invented something, then you got to teach it. That's why I said when you be misquoted or it mean recite, how you gonna recite something you don't know how to read? She was known, if you gonna recite something, that mean you just reciting what somebody told you. You ain't no truth teller. She was known as a mistress of the house of books. A mistress of the house of books, meaning what? She was a mistress to the house of books, meaning the wisdom, the books, the tablets, indicating that she also took care of Thoth's library of spells and scrolls. The same way I told you, I stayed in the museum. No ancient scholar, everything, and I love Dr. York. But I'm telling you, I know where the wisdom come from. I have it all the original manuscripts. I have every original manuscript. Anything, peace be among Dr. York and he's still flesh. I have all the ancient manuscripts that he had pleasure to have. How? Because I got it from the same, some of the sources that was introduced to the wisdom that where he got the wisdom to. And a lot of people will say, well, they had some divine inspiration at 3 a.m. and then won't give credit to the wisdom that was introduced. I give credit to all my teachers, and I give credit to the Holy Spirit introducing to it. That saved my life. How? Because God works through man. That's why I give credit to it, and that's why it says the wisdom is greater than I. How? The wisdom ain't just fall down to me in my sleep. I have revelation and understanding in my sleep where I can make things plain, but a lot of things was introduced to me. And when things introduced to me, then I can take it to the next level. Why? Because the introduction of wisdom, that's a form of initiation. And that's how I initiate my brothers. The wisdom is greater than I. She is the patron of libraries and all forms of writing, including census and accounting work. Sheshat was the only female that has been found so far actually writing. Other women have been found holding a scribe, but she been actually writing. I just showed it to y'all. That's why they talk about that male, you off. Well, we talk about the Baphomet. We talking about the Sheshat. You got it. So what? You created something. Now you got to know how to read and write. And if you creating reading, what you creating reading if nobody know how to read? Writing brush and palette, showing that they could read and write. But then the caveman could read and write. They couldn't. But these women were never shown in the act of writing itself. As goddesses of writing, she was seen as a scribe and a record keeper. That's why a lot of times back then they wrote in Roman numerals, because it was easy to change stuff. And her name itself means she who scrivens, she who scribe, the same way I do. The name Sheshet or Sheshat means the female scribe, the S meaning scribe. She was an architect building by the measurements of sacred geometry. Here she go in the hieroglyphs. You see her in the hieroglyph? You see her writing? You see what she got over her head? The cannabis, the Sheshat. You see she writing. She's writing, showing you that understanding that higher self, that wisdom. You see that at the bottom? Man, they can go on with their game. I'll be waiting for people to come up with their caps and with their games, because you only been played to by your own people. And then your feds is geometry. When you get those Egyptologists, oh, see, the Turks, yeah, we are the Turks. I know the game that these people play. I've been waiting for them to come with their stupid stuff. I said, why is you playing that stupid game? Why? We all family. That's stupid. But you got a motive. You ain't gonna come to me with that crap. She wear a leopard skin dress. The symbol over her head is a 7-pointed star. Or a Rosetta above. You know the Rosetta Stone? Which is a pair of what? Introverted cow's horns, suggesting a what? Crescent moon. So when them Negroes, the Egyptologists, or the crescent moon is symbolic Egypt. Fool, I just told you. With a pair of introverted cow horns, suggesting what? A crescent moon, stupid asses. Represent a crescent moon. Represent a crescent moon. Represent a crescent moon for the smart guy that won't all the way illuminate things, just come with their religion or their Egyptian theory because they want us to be set tripping on each other. That's what that conscious community shit did. And y'all know it. You got the Hebrew, you got Polar, you got these, all the people going against each other. Man, stop the cap. I just broke down all our language and showed you we was all family. Now, why are we steady playing the game? I know in Egypt had 2 Hebrew pharaohs, Sibatos and Sabatos. Now, why are we playing? I just said that the Turk is the more. Now, why are we playing? Her headdress was also her hieroglyphs, which may represent either a styles, flower, or 7-pointed stars on a standing goddess that is beneath a set of downturned horns. The horns may have originally been a crescent, linking Sheshat to the moon, and hence to her spouse, the moon and god of writing and the knowledge, thought, Shif Abu, Shif Abi, or Shif Abu. You know? Sefekhaubi is a title that comes from Sheshat's headdress that may have become an aspect of Sheshat or an actual headdress. Shifak Ubi or Abu means she who wears the two horns and relates to the horns. You know what that the so-called Jews blowing? You know what it's called, don't y'all? The ram's horn or the Sephiroth that appears above the Sheshat's head. So I just wanted to tell y'all about that, man. I'm out of here. I told y'all, I'm always illuminate stuff. Maybe when I land, I'm getting ready to go back to Michigan. I got some things I got to handle. I might take this piece of wisdom with me, and do a lecture all on it. I hope people support our Temple and School. Subscribe to our Temple and School YouTube channel. Be a student. I mean, you can be a student of the BBT for only a $40 donation each month, and I'll give you a tax-exempt receipt. And with those $40 that you donate, I'm going to give you wisdom. But right here, as we leave, these two books right here, this one, $1,999 on Amazon. This one right here is $2,499. Right here. Right here. And both of y'all today, people can get both of these PDF books today for a $100 donation. Only for both. And I'll give you 2 free gifts. Hell, I might give you the Golden Age of the Moors, and on Amazon that's $200. And then I might give you, matter of fact, let's see what I'll give you as a gift as we close. Because Amazon can't do it, nobody else can do it. I'll give you this for a gift. Let's see how much this is on Amazon. I just don't want to keep pulling the books out because I have too much to put about. Okay, so I'll give you this as a gift. Golden Age of the Moors. It's $144 on Amazon. Golden Age of the Moors. And then for my Moorish American family that want to study something else, I'll give you this. But I'm telling y'all, my books will clear all this stuff up. I'm telling you, my books will clear it all up. Sacred Drift. You see they got the prophet. You see they got our Noble Drew Ali on there. You see that? I'll give both of y'all, I'll give them 2 for you as gifts. Anybody got anything they want to say? Are we out of here? I'm telling y'all, man. Like, look at this right here. Look at our Prophet Noble Drew on this book right here by Peter Moon, and you see all those U.S. generals. Now, why would you think Noble Drew Ali on here with all these U.S. generals in history? If our prophet wasn't nobody, especially to Europeans. Why can I get all ancient Masonic books and show you that they knew about our prophet, especially the not the Prince Hall, but the Scottish Rite Mason. And I showed y'all how the European gave credit to Noble Drew Ali on his 135th birthday. You see the prophet right on there. You don't know what the prophet was doing? And I told y'all. So, I love everyone. I give honors to everyone. Thank y'all for taking y'all time out y'all day to listen to little old me. But here it is right here. I'm offering y'all this. Y'all got my information. Y'all know how to get with me. I share the same thing each week. Nobody can say they don't know how to get with me. A lot of these offers, I'm getting ready to stop. Because I've been doing it for years. And sometimes we just miss it. Sometimes we just miss deals. And can't nobody say, I wasn't here to help my brothers and sisters. And I can give you a tax-exempt receipt because I'm a religious and charitable organization that's tax-exempt for the federal government. All this stuff is part of our ministry. This is part of our education. And that's what people don't even get. When I say, man, we missing it. We steady missing it. when we say we need this and we don't have this. And people say you do have it. He right there. He been there talking to y'all for years. And when he gone, everybody gonna go right back to the same stupid stuff. When I show y'all how we can build, when I deal with people that have less than everybody on here, when I deal with a community of people that have less than everybody that have on here, why I'm be able to build the same thing what I'm saying in Puerto Rico with the same blueprint, with people giving taxes in dollars. Why would I be able to do it in a whole nother state except around my people? Because ain't none of my people in Puerto Rico. I can do this in our community. And people ain't still jumped on it and sharing my teachers and have me come teach at their synagogues or at their churches or at their gatherings, because I got to tell you, we hate our own kind. And that's all I can tell you. We hate our own kind. And it's been proven to me over and over and over, from religion to academia to science to everything. It's been proven over and over and over that we hate our own kind. And we don't want to see our brother make it the right way. Because everybody know I'm going to do exactly what I'm going to do. That's why. Because everybody know I'm going to do exactly what I want to do when the cup runneth over. So once again, y'all know how to get with me. If you don't, let me know. There's no reason for us not to be in the know. There's no reason. Because my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. I'm here. This is my life. And don't let me disappear. This is what I'm telling you. I'm casting my net out. Brothers and sisters, if you're not a member, support it. Come to what I'm showing. I'm telling y'all what I have is worth millions. And I'm just giving y'all a schoolmaster. I haven't even went to the other degree that I can go to. I haven't even went to the degree on finances and building and show you what we can do, what we can't even be stopped as a brotherhood, as a fraternal order that's chartered, that can teach our truth under our religious rights, to have our nationality and our spirituality, the 2/5 that was took from us. We have the right to divert our dollars that we given to Uncle Sam willingly to our religious and charitable contribution of our choice. And we build infrastructure, and I give my people a tax exempt receipt. We have the right, and until my brothers and sisters rock with me, we can't be doing nothing. Because this is my life mission, and I'm going to do this till the flesh gone. And I'm going to get it with or without my family and friends. I know this. Why? Because I have people supporting me. And people see it. It's just a matter of time. And if we support negative stuff, we can support positive things. It's just like I'll be telling my friends, I got a brother, he's like, man, we can get a warehouse and do all this, and we all put $2,500 together. But then my empresses and other people that know us, they'll be like, well, why don't y'all just donate to Sheik, and he give y'all taxes and receipt, and y'all do everything through your organization, and then do community service. But you want people to just give up money. And I say, but you can donate money and hold me accountable. Everything that we want to do outside as profit business, we do it in the community, and we provide community service. We're not saying we can't make money, but we provide a community service. Everything that come in goes out to the community. Yes, we can pay ourselves, but we don't have nothing in the pot. Why? Because we ain't collecting nothing. We doing community service. So the people can get paid. The people that's making things go on, you can get your salary, but we don't have nothing else in the pot. Why? Because we do community service. This is payroll. This is infrastructure. This is how to get things done. And when people don't understand that, because they don't think, because they don't know tax code, why they go to work every day. And I've been teaching this to all my friends, all my family, all my muftis for years. And this shit, excuse my candor, been falling on deaf ears because they've been following all this fake stuff on the internet, and it messed it up for people like me that's melanated, but it ain't messing me up in other platforms with my European scholars and my Jewish people. And that's what I'm telling us. We don't understand it. And we give our money to Uncle Sam, or we file some fake taxes, or we have people try to show us how to be criminals, filing some fake paperwork instead of using our finances like I'm telling us to build infrastructure, and then we can have something nobody can take from us. Because we'll be under our religious laws. And this is what I'm telling people, and that's the only way. And until my brothers and sisters and my family understand this, it only can be jealousy. Because this is a blueprint. That's the only way. We can't do nothing without no money. We can't have no brick and mortar without no money. I can't have a physical library. I have one. I can't bring this all into the community without a library. Nobody's going to give it to us. Then it'd be contingent on me not doing nothing. A lot of jobs that I was going to take, it was contingent on me shutting my internet down, shutting my Facebook down. Well, it was like, what, the stuff we going to pay you for? You talk freely with this. They're like, are you crazy? I had a HR lady, she was like, sir, can I talk to you? She was like, did they tell you that they want you to shut your Facebook and Instagram stuff down? I said, yeah. She like, the stuff you talk about, all the books, they don't know who you are. She like, I ain't telling you not to give it up because I know the work you're doing and you're doing God's work. But she like, baby, if you take this job, just think about it. You got to shut all your stuff down, what you're doing for the people. Nobody will never be able to hear you because they don't record my lectures. It ain't recorded. The staff do it, and they'll have it for archive. All the papers that I've written when you're in academia, the system have it, the Turnitin system. But I always rewritten stuff. That's how I'm able to write about stuff. A lot of my inspirations and going to the next level, I didn't write it in college and school because they'll have a database of my other inspiration and they'll try to hold it. A lot of stuff I used was reference, and I was fact checking their shit, so they got that. But they don't have a lot of my literature that I gathered and compiled that professors were trying to buy for $10,000 and hide it because I give it freely to y'all for pennies. And they be like, well, they don't know that this high wisdom and we use this. And I tell my brothers and sisters, nothing is hidden. I don't give a damn if you went to the university. I don't care if you got a degree in African American history. I don't care if you got a degree in religion. I bet you don't know what I know. And I'm not saying I'm not a know-it-all because I was introduced to the science. And I was like, go here, go here, go here, go here. This is where it's at. This is where it's at. And the Holy Spirit jumped in the midst of that. And then I have my family as well in the midst of that. And it got me here. And now I'm continuing to go. And I have some from my brothers. And I'm asking my brothers and sisters for your help before I'm gone. I really am. And I'm being honest. And I'm going to always be transparent. I see what's happening. If I show you all the letters I get from different places, they're like, well, you got a degree in this, you got a degree in this. Well, why? And I say, well, because I worked a lot and I saved a lot. And I have my own platforms and I do other things. I do a lot of things to generate wealth. And so when I teach these things and when I show my brothers and sisters, especially a lot of my family and friends, I say we lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. We've been separated. We've been separated because we are under what? A physical death. We are physically alive but spiritually dead. But with that being said, man, I got to get out of here. What time is it? It's only noon. I got about 4 hours of my regular work. I'm going to help a couple of students on campus. And I'll come back probably at 4 or 5. And maybe we'll talk about the holistic guide to wellness. But just these 2 books I showed y'all. $4,500 on Amazon. Who's going to buy these books for $4,500? And what's in these 2 books? What's in these 2 books? Everybody should be blowing me up. Everybody on here should be in the inbox like, oh, Sheik, I need that. I need that. If my Mufti don't have it, you have to have it. Everybody on here, and that's why we lost. Because if you want to hide something from a Negro, put it in the book. The only thing misnown where Negroes read is the Bible, and they've been misquoting it. Especially those ones that say the Bible is a white man book and then afraid to talk the truth. You ain't educated. And if you are educated, I bet you don't want to have a discussion. If you got a so-called seminary degree, I bet you ain't going to have a discussion with me because you train like a dog. And if you're a Freemason and if you're in some Greek fraternity, you know damn well you don't know nothing. You know that and I know it. And you can be mad all you want to. I can illuminate the history. That's the problem. We are our own worst enemy. And that's a fact. And with that being said, man, I'll see y'all later. Peace, light, and illumination.